Cause it is a competition. I walk around with an invisible number on top of my head, just like everybody else in this world. Whether you want to admit it or not.
You know what? Like every week they get better. It doesn't even really matter the topic, man. It's just how can it be whack if everybody's being real?
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
Polyamory is not based on I want to have sex with more than one person. Like, it's a committed relationship between a particular group of individuals, where it's 3 or 4, but they're not like, we're together, now we're going out, we're doing this. No, we're together. They're a relationship together.
Cause it is a competition. I walk around with an invisible number on top of my head, just like everybody else in this world. Whether you want to admit it or not.
You know what? Like every week they get better. It doesn't even really matter the topic, man. It's just how can it be whack if everybody's being real?
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
Polyamory is not based on I want to have sex with more than one person. Like, it's a committed relationship between a particular group of individuals, where it's 3 or 4, but they're not like, we're together, now we're going out, we're doing this. No, we're together. They're a relationship together.
Cause it is a competition. I walk around with an invisible number on top of my head, just like everybody else in this world. Whether you want to admit it or not.
You know what? Like every week they get better. It doesn't even really matter the topic, man. It's just how can it be whack if everybody's being real?
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
Polyamory is not based on I want to have sex with more than one person. Like, it's a committed relationship between a particular group of individuals, where it's 3 or 4, but they're not like, we're together, now we're going out, we're doing this. No, we're together. They're a relationship together.
Cause it is a competition. I walk around with an invisible number on top of my head, just like everybody else in this world. Whether you want to admit it or not.
You know what? Like every week they get better. It doesn't even really matter the topic, man. It's just how can it be whack if everybody's being real?
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
Polyamory is not based on I want to have sex with more than one person. Like, it's a committed relationship between a particular group of individuals, where it's 3 or 4, but they're not like, we're
Hello. Hey, Gems and Jules. Welcome to the CYP After Show. Y'all know what it is. It's Wednesday. And if you watch our show, then you already know that we was on there talking about some stuff. And I'm going to bring everybody on. I'm excited because, like, I get to bring everybody on and actually have this conversation. And y'all get to see us, like, talk this out in real time, like with no restrictions, no moderation from the head honcho. Hey, Reese from Philly. So what I'm saying is this is the after show to the show that I do every Wednesday called Controversially Correct. Okay. If you look up Mr. CYP, you can follow our show, Controversially Correct. And on that show, we usually get into some heated conversations. So I usually had an after show so we could talk about the conversation. And so I bring that to y'all. So Reese from Philly, like, this is not your first time being on my show. You should know what the hell I do on Wednesdays. Okay. This is not the first time I've done this. All right. So, and Tristan, thank you so much, Tristan. Thank you for supporting me. I'm going to bring the panel members on the show because, like, they are so dope. And I just want y'all to meet them. I actually got somebody that y'all never met before coming on this show. Like, he, you know, we're gonna talk this thing out. But let me bring JT back, you know. Hi, JT.
What's up? What's up?
So, without further ado, because I don't have no hand claps to know, you know, I'm Ralph. Look, I'm new to my channel, so look, I just gotta introduce you. So I'm gonna bring Ralph on the show, y'all. And if y'all know how our show go, y'all, this is a big moment that Ralph is on my show. Like, y'all need to understand and recognize what the hell is going on.
Right.
He said, oh yeah. So y'all know, like, this is big. This is not like, oh, Ralph is on the show. No, this is like, so share my video. Make sure y'all like it. I know it's pretty late where I'm at. It's late where I'm at. But I feel like it was important for us to have an after show. I feel like, okay, so what I had been doing, y'all, I don't know if y'all know, like, after the CYP show, I would have, like, lives on IG all the time. So I didn't have a YouTube at that time. So I was just kind of going live after the CYP show on IG to talk about our topics a little bit more in depth. Because I used to feel like when I was on the CYP show, like, I didn't really get to say everything that I wanted to say about the topic sometimes. So I was like, okay, like, I want to have a live show. So I started doing that. And, like, Carlos was coming onto the lives when I was on IG. And then Playboy was coming onto the lives and stuff too. So when I got my own channel, I was like, I'm going to do the after shows to the CYP show. But I only wanted to do them if we really had something that we needed to say after the show. Like last week, Meek and Chris got to talk it out, which was good. You know, that they got to talk it out on the show. I don't know if it resolved anything because, you know, I don't know if it resolved anything, but I hoped it did. I was hoping that it did. But, you know, Ralph, I feel like we don't get to talk on the show, right? It's like we kind of avoid each other maybe on the show. Do you agree that we avoid each other on the show?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Because I feel like I avoid you. I don't know if you felt that way, but I feel like I definitely was like, I don't know. So I think this is a good time for us to kind of like talk it out, right? And hash it out. Because look, we can describe what happened, right? For the people who don't know, right? So
Right.
on the CYP show. But y'all need to go back to the CYP show, watch our last show, right? Because we did have like a conversation about this, but we'll rehash some of it on this show. And you know, Ralph, if you would like, I would let you tell your side because I don't want to stay aside like paint it one way or the other. I'd like if you'd like to just say how you felt about our exchange and what happened.
Um, so we was talking about something, and in my perspective, I always take things like you should never let a woman like just talk at you just because they feel entitled to. And coming from the type of past that I had, it kind of like amped up my reaction to it because a person that's been bullied all their life, they tend to be more on the attack when they get older because of all that those repressed memories and that repressed anger. So whatever we was talking about, when you mentioned what you said, I took it like you was talking at me like I wasn't nothing because basically a lot of times people treat people a certain way based on whatever status they have. And I'm not the type of person that really cares much for status, though I do understand that that's how it works. But I consider myself like a low status type of person, like whatever. But in my mind, people should still be spoken to with the same respect, but they shouldn't, like a person doesn't work as hard as this person. You shouldn't get the same equal respect for work ethic as this person who works harder. But so I don't know exactly what I said first, but I know I got mad and I kind of went off on you. You know what I'm saying? You came back with it. I called you B word. You know what I'm saying? We going back and forth. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying? Going on.
it went crazy after that. I was like,
Yeah. Because whenever it was ever a situation with me and a person in real life, it's like it was like, man, nah, it's on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we going at it. Ain't no nah, you gonna disrespect me, I'm gonna make sure you feel what I felt. Like, so if I felt like my masculinity was attacked, I'm gonna say the thing that a woman feels most attacked, and I call her out her name, that B word. Then I'm all saying kind of FUs, middle fingers to the camera and all that stuff. Like, like, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just my attitude. Like, um, I can be very defensive. And then after the whole situation happened, like, I was still hot. Like, after, like, who the fuck is this talking to me like that? Et cetera, et cetera. All kind of stuff. Typical stuff. And I'm talking with my brother. He was like, helping me, understand certain things. And I was like, I'm still mad because the situation happened, but I'm just like, you know, tapping my foot like this motherfucker said that like in my head. So took a breath, like maybe I was kind of wrong for that, whatever. So then that's when it came about, like, the next time we basically got on the show, I was like, okay, beforehand, I know what I need to do. And I felt like it had to be done because even before that, that situation happened, I was already going through a lot of stuff where I was basically doing the same thing, what I'm dealing with you now, with a lot of females in my past, where I'm like, I made mistakes at an age of understanding like that I had. And it's like, I'm guilty forever, but I apologize. Like, I was going through life like you was at age. I didn't know shit. I was poor, so it's like, I didn't know what to do, but use fillers to get by, to figure out who I was, et cetera, et cetera. And not everybody understand that. So it just like my anger was still with me though. One thing I never let go of from my past yet was my anger, because in my mind, my anger was my only friend.
yeah.
My anger was the only thing that taught me how to have my own back. Even if it was in a fight, I was gonna lose, because like when people don't understand you, no matter how many times you explain yourself to them, no matter how many times you tell them what you like, what you are, etc., they still, you can't make people get it, because that just always goes to show you're trying to make people understand you who was never meant to be there to understand you. So therefore, I was dealing with that fact, and so every time we got in conversation with someone that opposed thoughts, I just took it as an attack. Like, you know what? Like, I took what you was, how you came at me, like a F you.
Right.
So I'm like, man, you too. And then,
You
and
like,
it went from
so,
there.
and this is what I was like. I was like, okay, so here's the thing though. I do get accused of being like an elitist a little bit, like, or people feel like I feel like I'm better than. So I don't mean to come from that perspective, but when I'm talking from a place of this is my boundary and expectation, and this is how I move in the streets, right? Like, and so I want that to convey over. But I don't mean to be condescending or disrespectful, but I understand that it comes across to people that way. But I always be like, okay, if I don't offend you, if I don't call you out your name, then I don't deserve to be called out my name. But no matter what, I have been in these spaces in YouTube where I have been talking to other men. You're not the first man that's called me a bitch in this YouTube space, right? Like, I've been called a bitch in this YouTube space, not several times, but another time on another platform. A caller came on and was like, "You bitch." Like, the first thing he said, he just came on and called me a bitch. So I feel like Chicago Rilla. No, Rilla, I am not. Okay. And you know, you bring your ass on this show if you can, Rilla. Rilla was on the show. So a dude actually came on to a show that I was on, and I was talking about, like, you know, something similar, Ralph. And then the guy, he came on the show and he was like, this bitch, she don't deserve this, and like just went off. And I'm like, wait, what did I do? Why did I deserve to be called a bitch? Because I feel this way I feel, you know. And my position on the show, like, I support women. I do. I know people don't like that I take that stance, but that is the stance that I take, Ralph. And I know that you have a different stance. So clearly CYP know what he's doing, right? He's gonna bring me on the show, and he bring you on the show. He knows that we got contradictory stances, but he wants us to kind of hash it out, talk it out, and come to a common, or not even if we come to common ground, but at least we can debate peacefully and respectfully.
Well,
And
the
so
thing is,
that's it.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just like, okay, Ralph needs to tell me what I did to make him that upset. Not that I am not gonna ever make you that upset again, but why did you think it was necessary to call me a bitch in that moment, right? Like, what triggered that response? Because I feel like,
Oh, so
you know,
okay.
I
So
don't know.
every day, I take it as men are constantly bombarded with attacks against their manhood, and everything a man does is criticized, and nothing a man does right is ever right. It's only barely good enough. And I really speak for black men. You know, other men don't take it personal, but I can't speak for you because we walk these shoes. And a lot of times it is kind of like a us against the world thing, because when you want to do good, you're lame because you're not out here making fast money. But then when you making fast money, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're not making enough money or some dumb stuff. And it's like, you know, it's like, it's not that you don't
So
want to
was
take
I
risks.
a representation of that to you? Like,
It,
for
it's
you,
like it's
it
like
was
the
like I
way
was
that
a representation of that.
it's kind of like when you say things about what sense, in a sense, you say you speak for women. It's kind of like you're saying the same thing I've heard all my life. Like, you ain't good enough to have your opinion about life matter. And it's like, well, then if that's the case,
Yeah.
then how do you expect to get the protection that you're asking for from men as myself? We respect men, women. Like, what a lot of people got misconstrued by me. Like, I don't understand how you get this idea, not you, but females
Yeah.
get this idea that I'm some type of woman hater or something, because it's nothing to do with that. I've grown up around women who constantly try to dictate what kind of man I need to be, try to groom me into some man that I seen them dating. And I'm just like, but they weak. And it's like, they're controllable. and it's not even like just a rebellion just because of what I see. And it's because it just doesn't feel natural for a man to be molded. He's supposed to mold.
Right.
So I wanted to get out and do stuff. I wanted to understand that, but I was also mad because it's like a lot of women criticize the man that I am, but they don't understand it's a lot of women that help influence the type of things that came into my life and the lack of things that I had protection from
Yeah.
that kind of scarred me.
Mhm.
And they never helped heal that scarring because they was too busy going through what they was going through. So it's like it's not that they didn't love me, it's just like they never had time to because they was too busy trying to fix their situation, getting out. So it was never enough focus on let's 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 put time and energy to making sure he got what he needs to be the man he's supposed to be to establish himself. No, it's just let him be a screw up and then let's constantly remind him of how much he is of a screw up he is.
Mm.
Like instead of telling me what I needed to prevent me from doing the bad stuff I was doing, you criticize me for doing the bad stuff after the fact. Like, well, where was the preventative talk? Like, do you not understand that part respectfully saying to all my folks, like, that's your responsibility is to put preventative information in my head. See, protection starts with information first. It's not just I'm out here, I'm gonna put myself in the line of bullets. Like I'm gonna tell you where not to put yourself so neither of us have to be there. I was out there chasing death, trying to figure out if this was the life for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and most of that out there was out here protecting women,
But was it
being stupid.
mostly women who was like instrumental in your life? Did you have like a male figure that you felt like gave you that instruction and direction?
One,
One.
two, really, but one in particular was my little cousin's father, because my
Mhm.
brother, we grew up in the same house, so I seen what he was going through with our mom. My mom was never right, period, and now it's even worse. But she was never right. So he had to get away because his whole idea with getting away was so he can be the hero that came back and like I'm gonna show you what to do now. He was going through his own thing, trying to believe he had a dream, and constantly having his dreams crushed by the one that pushed him out is destructive. You know what I'm saying? It's no encouragement. Nobody believes and supports him, et cetera, et cetera. And we just kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So but my little cousin's father, I didn't understand at the time, but he took me under his wing and tried to show me stuff. But I was like already too far gone. Like, I'm fit, like past high school. So I'm like, you can't like, yeah, thanks, but what can you tell me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I already done been out here doing stupid stuff. It's like, well, whatever. Like, but I understand that now.
Yeah.
So it's like he tried to show me, but I went against him, and I regret that now because it's like that relationship is gone. But it's like, I, my bad. Like I was young, I was angry, I was confused about stuff. I didn't know you was trying to help me out, but now I can't repair that relationship. So now I have to be the man that they saw in me that they was trying to bring out, and it's hard. So
I mean, I think when I'm in these spaces that I recognize that sometimes I'm a trigger for some men, right? Like I am the opposite of what men say, right? Like I'm very vocal, I can be super opinionated, I can be very much like stuck in my views and how I see it, and I am that person. I do try to sometimes understand the other side, but sometimes I stay in my lane. But then I do find that men in these spaces will be like, they will retaliate, and they will retaliate with degrading me, right? Instead of sticking to the topic. So let me ask y'all, would you say that a lot of, and I'll talk about black men, the anger that they have towards black women stems from something that they've experienced in life, right? Like in most cases, would you attribute the anger that I see, the anger, the responses that we receive sometimes in these spaces? What do you attribute them to? I guess I don't want to lead you. I want to see it. How do you see the responses and the criticism that black women receive in a lot of these YouTube spaces? You know, where does this derive from? Is it really something that women are not doing? I'm sorry, Amarie the Dragon. What do you have? Can you show your picture, or can you show the camera, or no? You want to stay? Do you have a question for us? Let me know. Do you have a specific question for us? Because if you do, then I can bring you on. Um, just trying to get clarity on you because I've never seen you before, so I don't know. You know, so yeah, just let me know in the chat. What did you have a specific question, or did you just want to be a part of the panel? Let me know, okay? But go ahead, Ralph, and you can kind of speak to that. I'm curious as to, you know, because I do see this happen a lot in these YouTube spaces. Again, like I said, I've been called a bitch before in this YouTube space. Being on the Lil Peep show, right? Some stranger called in, like he was upset about something that I said prior to, and I was like, that bitch, blah blah blah. So like, this is the second time I've been called a bitch, so I'm kind of like, okay, what is the actual problem, right? Why do men feel that way? So maybe you guys can shed some light and tell me exactly what it is, maybe.
Well, a lot of it seemed like we just being force fed from another woman some more propaganda, like be this man or you're nothing. Like, do you not understand the man that I'm trying to be with the lack of tools that I had to come up with? And it's like whenever we bring that up, it seems like women take that as an excuse. It's a reality. We talk about how we went through 400 years of chattel slavery and had no mental health for all the trauma we had to endure. We're not just talking about the slavery portion, the transportation getting here, but also Jim Crow, or what is that, the Willie Lynch syndrome, force feeding the boys weakness and the girls masculinity, the masculinity we supposed to have to be men in their lives. We never got help, and then when it comes to that, you're expecting us to be something that we don't know how to be. And when we sometimes we learn late in life, oh, okay, I get it now. Like you can watch a movie now, or when you're a kid, you don't know what this meant. Then you watch the same movie later, like, oh, I get that line now because it finally hits you because you hit a certain point of maturity. But once you hit a certain point of maturity, and it's like, dude, stop trying to tell me what a man is. If I'm walking in these shoes, I have the biology that says I'm supposed to be a man. A man's mind is very important to him, and when someone's trying to control his mind, he starts swinging. It's like, dude, when you realize, this is why I don't lie about like Christmas, tooth fairies, and all that nonsense. Like, if you start telling your kids lies, then when you get older and you realize it was a lie, you look at your parents different. Like, well, what else did you lie about? So it's the same thing for us, especially black men. It's like we've been lied to our whole life, and when we finally come to terms with what is true, it's like, damn, who is my friend? Who is my ally? Is my own people, even my own brothers, my people? Is this what I'm supposed to be a part of? Why would I want to protect people not only that put the lies in my head, but that believe the lies? I've realized these things now, and now it feels like I'm alone. So everything somebody says against me is like an attack, because it's like you don't realize what I had to go through to protect my mind from that brainwash. I had to come out of that, and nobody walked me through it. That's the importance of fathers. They walk us through the nonsense. Like, man, that tooth fairy ain't real. I put the damn dollar under your damn pillow. This some fat white man didn't climb down a chimney. Use your common sense, boy. Like a father would get on us about that. But because we didn't have that, we went through so many lies, finding out the hard way. That's a bunch of bullshit. You see a lot of men
But do
crying and
you
all that
think?
stuff soft now. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but do you think? Okay, because I hear this, Ralph, a lot from men that the same experience that you have experienced. But do you think that you unfairly judge women for your experience and then therefore take out your aggression on us? Because
When it
I
comes,
don't hear you upset with like not having a man in your life to really give you that guidance, right? But the women who try to step up and take over that role, it seems like you internalize that and then kind of direct that anger toward me or toward women who represent what you've been through, right?
Right. So when it comes to that, I am angry about that. Like, and especially my brother will tell you, like, I've spoke many times, many times. Like, I don't know if he ever mentioned. So we grew up our whole life next door to our father that wanted nothing to do with us. So to be that close to your father and he always avoided you, psychologically it messes with your head. Like, you right, I literally can walk next door and come rock with you.
Right.
Tell him I'm not home. Whatever. So I'm your son looking for you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what's wrong with me? In your head, that's my own daddy. Whatever. All right, bet. But when it comes to women, it's like when a woman imposes herself on me, like she's telling me she's gonna be the dominant figure, like back up, man. Like, what you talking about, man? Like, nah, man. Like, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop coming at me like this is what it's gonna be. That's
Right.
my place.
Right.
But I was, I could be hyper aggressive a lot of times. Like, be I could be a little too macho, I guess you say, when I was younger, but I don't really consider it like that. But I could do too much, and then I always rub people the wrong way, and it was
Yeah.
just too much emotion behind the things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? But that type of stuff just mess with your
A
head.
lot of
Like,
a lot of things that you've been through. And let me
I wanted to.
bring A Marie and the Dragon Slayer. Is that your name? I Marie. I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong. I just brought you in. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm all right. How y'all doing?
I'm doing good. Go ahead. You
Okay.
you had a statement. Did you watch CYP or are you just kind of observing now?
Well, I just caught wind of your channel today, and I was listening to some of your content. So I said I like what she's talking about. It's a fresh face, a fresh perspective. So let me subscribe. But first and foremost, my name is pronounced Amiri.
Amiri, thank you. That's
Amiri,
great.
Amiri the Dragon Slayer. That's
Amiri the
the
Dragon.
that's the nomenclature I'm going by right now. But I saw the title, and I'm assuming. I don't know how much of the conversation I've missed. I'm assuming the question is, can black men and black women get along?
Yes.
Well, the answer
And
to that question.
the reason is because me and Ralph is at the bottom here. We had a little bit of a disagreement, and we're
Okay,
on this show to kind of walk and talk it through. So I'm
right.
asking this fundamental question. Go ahead, Anne-Marie. I would like to hear
Uh,
what you got to say.
well, yeah, they can if we stop listening to the wrong voices. What you have going on right now on YouTube, particularly in the black sectors, you have a lot of frauds and phonies and fakes who for the for the purpose of gaining a YouTube career or YouTube stardom, they have no problem stoking the flames of division that exist between black men and black women when they themselves aren't equipped to deal with the various nuances and caveats that come with the black experience for both black men and black women, right? And so what happens is these people are able to rile up either side. You have black women who do it, and you have black men who do it. And so what it does is it exacerbates an already painful problem for a lot of people, like what I hear the brother Ralph talking about. And when we're having these discussions, we have to be focused on what is the root cause. We can't make the symptom the cause. So if you're talking about the fact that we want to say that many sisters are masculinized and many brothers are feminized, we have to understand that that's not emanating from either one of us. It's emanating from the larger social and political context that black people have came up under. We've taken on a lot of ideas and notions about masculinity and femininity, which at their very essence are in fact white. These are white concepts of masculinity and femininity. And so just like oil and
But
water will
but
never
but
mix.
but
Go
but
ahead.
but let's talk about that because it doesn't matter if it's Eurocentric views. It's subconsciously how we see each other. So even if we don't acknowledge it because it's our conscience doesn't acknowledge it, we are rooted in Eurocentric views of masculinity and femininity. So we impose that on each other regardless.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. We have to be properly debriefed and educated on what we're talking about. So we have to get the bullshit out of the way so we can see some value and worth in each other. And right now, because of what's going on social media and the social discourse and people jockeying for position to try and reach some YouTube stardom or YouTube fame, they steer the conversation and this divisive direction because they're merely seeking to get paid. But it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not as if black men and black women can't reach a certain level of at one with one another. It's totally possible.
Do you think that the gender war is fake? That there is no tension between black men and black women?
No, it's not fake. It's emanating from a real place. But what it's emanating from is emanating from the pressures and the compounding adverse effects of what it means to be black in American society. You mentioned the Eurocentric paradigm that we're in, and so what happens is there's a black tax that is imposed, and as we interact with one another, because we're both black, because you're a black woman and I'm a black man, and we have our own specific, unique circumstances and challenges that arrive from both our blackness and our gender. When we come together, it's compounded. It compounds. You see, and so what's happened is in white society, if like I would challenge anybody to find the phrase "battle of the sexes" in any other culture. You'll be hard pressed to find that.
It won't be
we're
there.
we're experiencing it because there was a intergroup conflict amongst white men and white women because they were basically having a power struggle over the power apparatuses of American society. So what's happened is we've been enlisted as proxies in their gender war, and so it
Okay,
trickles
so
down to us.
brother Amory, what do you say to this? That Chicago Rilla says that most people consuming content in this space are grown. They are 100,000% responsible for what they choose to consume.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask him a question. If he disagrees, then you must disagree with YouTube. And I would venture to say that YouTube is better at social media than you because it's the reason why YouTube called these people influencers, sir. They're not influencing children. It's the reason why they're called YouTube influencers by YouTube. Like, look. A few weeks ago, the whistleblower came out and talked about how these algorithms on social media are constructed. So what you have people placating the algorithm, and the algorithm is designed to cause division. The whistleblower just came out a few, like what, 2 months ago, about what. This is why you see the things that you see in your news feed.
Hmm.
So no, I'm not. You can disagree, but what I'm saying is on point. This is what's happening.
Ralph, what do you say about that? Is the gender war thing, is it fake? Like, do you think it is rooted in some truth?
The gender war was by design. It's really no. What is the purpose behind the war? What, let's say, who wins? None of us. Okay, women get on top. Then what? Society's going to crumble. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural order, and the powers that be are trying to upset the natural order, leaving us all confused, thinking we're doing the right thing because we're leaning on our feelings rather than logic. The way things, we always talk about how societies did all these great things in the past. Why are we less progressive in the future? Because we're upsetting that order that made us progressive in the first place. There was structure. And when you go against that grain, now we're at a standstill now, where it's all this confusion. It's all this back and forth. People, it's a reason why even there's a such thing as feminism. That was by design. It's to slow and stop the family structure. People have more sex and less families today. People have families out of more so out of necessity, not a like as like a, what do you call it? But basically, they do so like you're making some type of deposit or something. It's like it's not even for for a real purpose. You have kids, but the system raises them and not the parents. We don't instill any values in them. The system teaches them, our kids, their values.
Are you talking
And
about
it,
like Black community or in general? Like
mainly blacks, but
the
it's
Black
definitely
community.
general, but mainly blacks. Most of us, instead of doing what we're, instead of investing in what we actually are good at doing, like I watched a documentary of Floyd Mayweather. His grandmother took him out of school so he can focus on his craft, what was in a bloodline, boxing. And he's the greatest. Now people can laugh about his education level. Okay, let's not look at him. Who invented the automobile? Eighth grade education. If he if he had not focused on what he loved, which kind of goes back to the acrimony thing again, if he had not focused on what he was good at, he would have never became that great person that he was. We're leaning on a Eurocentric standpoint of get my education, get my degree, but you'll get this great job, but the great job is only to compensate the amount of debt that you've accrued going to
Right.
my institutions. It's a slap in the face because a person with just a GED can get a job that can grow up to making 100,000 a year just by being there over a period of time. Like if it's not a skilled trade, it's usually skilled trades. So it's really it's just an attack on people's intelligence. Why would a woman want to go to war with the very one that she wants?
Right.
Why would you go to job? Why would you fight to get a job just to tell your boss you can't stand his ass? Like, what was the point? It was for nothing. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You there's an order, and if you don't want to go according to that order, well, enjoy the ride while it lasts because once it's time to get off the ride, reality hurts. That's why you see a lot of females who try to upset that order. They have dudes kids, and then they divorce him on purpose because they want to take what he has, right? But reality hurts. Nobody feels sympathy for you. Okay, bet. Who's gonna save you now? The one man that did care for you, you took advantage of.
Mm.
Reality hurts. So you upset the order trying to establish your own order because you want to prove your vagina's powerful. That wasn't power, that was weakness. You used
Mm.
your one of your greatest attributes to manipulate a person that cared
Manipulate.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're by yourself. So that's
JT.
what this gender war is about. Sorry.
So JT, I want to hear your response. What do you think there's a gender war? And Reese from Philly, I see you back there. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, I'll bring you on. Do you think there's a gender war? And how do you feel about that whole dynamic?
All right. First I want to say I appreciate Ralph coming on and Wanda, y'all resolving y'all differences and stuff like that, because I always say it's about respect and communication, and sometimes stuff will have to be said to get to that point, and now we both talking, so next time we get into a serious debate or topic or disagree on something, I think the respect value will be better, so you won't have to go back and forth with each other. But to answer your question, honestly, it may be a gender and war going on. I mean, we just saw it on the shoulder a few hours ago. So, the thing about it, honestly, it is just what value a man looks at a woman, and vice versa. What value do the woman look at the man? And brother Amiri, I mean, he kind of went off. Like he kind of lost me. I'm not saying I wasn't listening, but it just when he went deeper, with it. But I just think it starts with respect with the man and the woman, no matter what color, what race. I mean, we're looking at it starts respect, and I keep saying that because like without respect, you're not gonna have no understanding. You're not gonna have no communication and stuff like that. And that's something that can really be simple and defined. A woman shouldn't be trying to be a man. A man shouldn't be trying to be a woman. But that's what we have going on in this world today. Because it's really true. You got men really want to be women. You got women want to play a man role,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the confusion come in. But if everybody just respected their boundaries and stayed in their lane, I think
It's easier said than done, which I know it sounds good, but it's not going to happen. Everybody stay in their lane and respect each other's boundaries. This will be a better world to live in because it better be understanding, better communication, you know. And it's not. It's we got to stop where the women trying to outdo the men, or even if we say that you can outdo the men. I mean, if you single, if you doing your own little thing, but not trying to outdo the man in your own house, and and vice versa. It's a relationship. That's why
Explain,
men was
explain what you mean by outdo the man, JT.
what I mean. Like you have certain situations where the woman, and I don't want confuse, I don't want to offend nobody. Like like when people always say they don't know their place, they take the wrong thing. I feel like the woman, after every good man is a good woman. I feel in a relationship, and it's a balance with it, and it shouldn't be to a point where it's a selfishness when you together, and the man is outdoing the woman, or feel like he in competition with his wife, or the wife is feel like she's in competition with the man. That's what I mean by that. And you get situations where that happen, and you gotta be like, hey, why y'all together? What's the point on it? I thought y'all was doing it 50-50, doing it together, because like in every relationship, where I struggle at, she might be stronger, or vice versa. Where she struggle at, I might be stronger. I might be the 30%, she gonna be the 70, and then that other way around. In another situation, I might be the 70, she's the 30. But that's all I mean about it. On that, I just think it big respect plays a big part in the reason why people today don't get along, especially women and men.
Okay, let me give Reese from Philly. Hey, Reese, how are you? Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I would love to hear what you got to say about this topic. Go ahead.
Yo,
There's definitely a gender war going
Oh,
on.
J Mac. I'm
hey,
sorry. Hey, J Mac.
yeah, my
I'm
bad.
so
I've
sorry.
been here before, Reese.
Yeah,
I'm
J Mac.
sorry.
Sorry, J Mac actually is on CYP show with us. I don't know if you heard everything, J Mac. But Reese, before you say something, let me let J Mac kind of give his spill and have his moment to talk about his observations. Go ahead, J Mac.
Yeah, hey, shout out like my brother said, ditto. I think we definitely can resolve a lot of things with communication. My bad, Reese. I just was on here before you. Um, and we can definitely resolve anytime we can sit around and hear each other out. Respect to both of y'all. What's the question so I can have context?
Well, we were talking about just basically gender wars, and do you think that the gender war is real? I guess drawing off of me and Ralph's whole communication and how that whole thing went down, right? It
Yeah.
does that come from something though?
Yes,
Is it
it
like
is.
a real thing? Go
It's
ahead.
by evolution and natural design. The world we live in today is so competitive, and women have definitely uh put their best foot forward and competed to where they showed there was more, there was work more than what people were value, or what they deprived from, and what men was considered more valued at. I think it's definitely a balance there. I think men and women are capable of achieving when it comes down to physical, not, I'm sorry, not physical, um job wise, career wise, pay scales, all. I think we can pretty much be viewed as equal with that. Educational wise, it's so the opportunities are there, but the balance and the competitiveness ties into the relationship aspect, which is the it takes the most blunt of like blunt and dented force at. Meaning when I say that, we gotta remember we gotta still be husband and wife. Whether you are more educated than me, whether you make more money than me, I'm still your husband, you're still my wife. Everybody have a place. I think a lot of people struggle with certain terms like submission, place, places. Just because I say everybody got a place doesn't mean you're second. But I mean, if the man is meant to lead and you to take his last name, you have to follow. But just because you follow don't mean you're following and you're weak and you have to depend on him. It just one has to lead, one has to follow. I think in a place of by design that people struggle with, I think that's where they get competitive at. You feel like, well, hey, I'm doing this, hey, I'm doing that. Okay, but you still trying to be my wife though, and I'm still trying to be your husband. At the same time, we still with the midst of no matter what we accomplish in this world, We still gotta learn how to be husband and wife. And I think that constantly get walked over in the midst of everything we didn't already accomplish with each other as far as sex. I think it get thrown up quite a bit. I think women independently takes this title, and I think it goes to their head and they forget how to be wives. I think the mothers of today are more focused on teaching women, not how to be wives, but how to be independent. And I think that is conflict with when you plan on being in a relationship and sharing yourself with a man. Like I said, it's not a dick measuring contest because you don't have one. But what I'm saying is at the same time, it's still your husband has to lead and you have to follow your husband.
Yeah.
Like I repeat, following your husband doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're second. But the man is meant to lead. That's why you take his last name.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe competitively we get stuck up on the stupid shit and forget about the main ingredient to with successful relationship. And yes, it's too much of a competitive war.
All right, Reese. Before I give my opinion, I want to hear what you got to say, Reese from Philly. Go ahead.
There's definitely a gender war going on, and it's a lot older than some of y'all might think. You may not know by looking at me, but I'm 52 years old, so I could take y'all back in the time machine 35
No, you
years.
don't look 52. You don't.
Thank you. So I can take y'all back 35 years in the time machine. We in the DeLorean with the flux capacitor right now. So in the early 80s, the sexual habits of black people were a polar opposite of what you see in front of you today. And the relationships and the meetings and unions between black men and women were more organic. And over the years, the vagina has become monetized, and everyone's soul has been darkened by media. And this all started in the early 90s, maybe you could even say the late 80s, when everybody started tuning into Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake, and then it turned into Jerry Springer.
And Oprah, because I know y'all say that too, Oprah.
Right, and Maury Povich. And they monopolized it. And so what they did was they took the worst black people they could find, because they interview hundreds of people before they decide who's gonna go on the show. And if you come on there talking proper English and you sound like you got some sense, you're getting sent up out of there. But if you come in there with gold teeth and fuchsia blue weave and you say a lot of cuss, you're a shoo-in. You see what I'm saying? So this was a plan. So what happens is this will run over and over and over again on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day for 10, 20, here 30 years now. Now let me tell you why I brought this up. You have something inside of your brain called the phonological loop, right? And let's do the etymology on that word. Phonological, that's, images and sound, and loop is something that goes over and over again. So the phonological loop is where your brain stores all the information that comes in through your eyes and ears. Everything you see and everything you hear. Now, when this happens millions of times over and over and over, the same thing is put into your phonological loop over and over and over. This is where behavior comes from. Now, before anybody asks me, well, then why doesn't everybody act like that? It's nothing in the universe is 100%. There's always exceptions to the rule and what have you. So what you see in front of you is the effects of 30 years of BS going into black people's phonological loop on media, and all of us on the panel have tuned into all of this nonsense before. We're all guilty. You know what I'm saying? So this has translated into our behavior, because an old man like me can tell you we did not act like this 35 years ago.
Is this cultural conditioning? Do you believe that that's what's happened, and the fact that we have been conditioned to view ourselves or to hate our own selves, right? And then we project that onto everyone else. But let me say this. I have studied every other society, okay? Asian community, all the other communities that exist. Why is it that black men are not patriarchal in our society? Why is it that black men have a hard time taking that patriarchal role that they need to take in order to take control and leadership of their community?
Because of white supremacy.
That's part of it. But what I've experienced and what I've also been hearing is that, like, when a man tries to take that role, as you say, there's often some pushback and rejection from their significant other. You know what I'm saying? Because women have been conditioned over the last 30 years to stand up to men, no matter what. Don't let men do blah blah. Don't let him say this to you or that. And this came through the music. Every spring in the 90s, the Hell with Men song came out. You know, I don't want to cuss, but a song against men came out. And then
but Reese, can I push back with the media and music have been calling women bitches and hoes since then.
Exactly.
There has been a intentional disrespect for Black women in all media sources in the music industry specifically. That coincides with the 90s and the evolution of talk shows where women were speaking out against things like that. But there was also music that also.
Well, can I add to that, because I've heard some things that I do disagree with, and I've heard some things I agree with, mainly with what Reese from Philly was laying out when he was talking about the phonological loop. It's actually going back to what I was talking about when I was talking about social media. But first thing I want to lay out is there's absolutely nothing in this world stopping Black men from doing what they need to do as men. There's nothing stopping.
I agree.
So when we start talking about why Black men can't do this and why Black men can't do that, I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear it, because at the end of the day, that's all it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and this isn't me saying this. This is what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said in the ISIS papers, that sisters have to stop rewarding these men with their bodies and with their wombs and with their reproductive capabilities and their nurturing capabilities when, as so long as they're not doing what they need to do as men. The bottom line is white society, white supremacy, the CIA, the COINTEL program have given Black men specifically an example of what would happen to them if they were to stand up and to challenge white supremacy. You're going to get the Malcolm X treatment, you're going to get the Martin Luther King treatment, and you're going to get the Fred Hampton treatment. That's why they're not doing it. Period.
If you look at the media, in my eyes, would you agree that Black women love Black men? Would you all agree? Do you think when you see the media and who we tend to partner with and who we love, do you feel that overwhelming we partner with and love Black men? Give me your opinion.
I would say it's a love-hate relationship. That's what I would say. Like it's a reason why, you know, these stories of trauma with resonate so much with black men, trauma coming from the hands of Black men. Now, this is why I said I do agree with what some of the things I have heard, because this isn't anything I'm making up. There's a New York Times article that was written on this back in the 1980s, talking about how many Black feminists would talk about the Black male female relationship, and they would portray Black men in these hyper masculine, hyper aggressive, abusive light. And so sisters have been imbued with that. It's just something that's there. And I think a lot of times,
you don't think that Black women love Black men?
No, they do, but I think it's possible to love and hate something at the same time.
What about you, Reese from Philly? If you were thinking about Black women, who do they prefer? Who do they choose most times?
If you pay attention to media and all that, you would come away with the thinking that they don't. But I live in Philadelphia, and on our Parkway, we have events where 50,000 people will come out, 100,000 people, and I'll tell you what I see. I see thousands of Black families, Black men and women holding hands together, holding hands with their kids, everybody just enjoying themselves, no ratchetness. And I'm talking about a crowd of 100,000 people. Now, when some bullshit jumps off, there's no war going on with Black people and thousands of people fighting. There's usually 2 or 3 dickheads acting up, and everybody else is just, you see what I'm saying? But what you see on media is those 2 or 3 dickheads. But when you go to an event, you see the real world. You see what I'm saying? So the gender war is real, but it's smaller than you might think it is. On social media, it's out of hand.
On YouTube, it's hard.
Exactly.
YouTube is hard.
YouTube is way that shit's out of control. But the difference between the people in the back of the salon talking shit and the people in the barbershop talking shit is now you have digital media where bullshit can get all around the world in a few seconds. 30 years ago, it took a long time for some bullshit to get to China. Years. When we talk about culture, now somebody can tune in and see how simple we acting on YouTube in a few seconds. Like, and the whole world is looking at like what's wrong with niggas? Because ain't nobody else doing that. And I took a deep dive.
So JT, do you think black women love black men? Do we choose black men?
90%.
JT.
90.
I absolutely like. I'm kind of like what he's saying, listening to what the brother's saying.
Yeah,
I think they do, but like if the world promote it? No. And we go back to I'm not trying to go back to slavery, but I do feel like as black people, our woman kind of was the how was it, in a way they didn't support our black men, because I guess to in slavery time we were kind of demonetized, and we separate, the families were separate and all that. But I don't know, I don't think we still in that phase.
But JT, a lot of men think like you and blame black women who was also powerless in that struggle. No. Listen,
can I finish?
because I want you to listen to what you said in your subconscious, that we didn't support black men. But remember, we were both enslaved. We were both, but here's the thing. We were both enslaved and forced to do things that we did not want to do. Women would marry, marriages were not legal, but marriages happened. And white men would know and that those marriages existed and still take your woman and sleep with her in front of you, and or make the man do things to them, which we don't talk about that a lot. And we were forced to do things that weren't things that we wanted to do. But it seems like even in these YouTube spaces that black men see black women as having more power than them.
Can I finish? Can I finish what I was saying? I was getting to that point. At that time, we didn't have a choice in the matter. We both, if you had a choice, if you disobeyed, you know what happened. But you didn't have a choice to live. So no matter who didn't have a choice in the matter, it still affected the generations, and the curse going further and further and further down and stuff like that. But to answer your question, do black women love? They have black women out there that love supposed to support their black men, but then they got a percentage that don't. They still have those ones that feel like they're in power.
Right. But for the most part, black women, we choose black men. If you ask any other race of men, who do black women prefer? They're going to say that black women prefer black men. However, if you ask anybody else outside of black culture, people, who do black men prefer? Who do you think they will say?
Probably white women.
White women. Black men do not prefer us, and we know that. And we are still loyal
a
to
percentage.
No,
if you say
no, it's beyond us talking about a percentage. It's the reality.
I mean,
black men want women who don't look like us, because you have been taught to idolize, glamorize Eurocentric looks, and that's what you guys prefer.
I think you're talking about the more successful. When you see a successful black man on TV, 9 times out of 10, you talking about the football players, the athletes, stuff like that make good money. You see them with a white woman. That's what you're assuming, because I think
here's what Tristan said. I find that so disingenuous. It's crazy. Us black men have been pushed, killed, mistreated, and the first thing we do is come at black women. When they have been there step by step with us, we owe black women a lot. Yes, you do, Tristan, but they don't care to owe us anything. They still don't prefer us.
Well, let me ask you something. Yes. Wanna?
Yeah.
Okay, uh, I'll see the point that black men owe sisters a lot. Do you think that sisters owe black men anything?
We have never stepped away from you to owe you, right? We still are there in the thick of it.
Okay.
What do we owe? We can't owe when we are not. We
I,
have
th- I well I
been
think
betrayed. We
I
have been
think
betrayed. Black men have put the perception out
mhm.
that other races are better than their own women, which is why other men don't respect black men. It isn't black women.
So
Well,
let me ask you,
let me hold on.
did
I
black
wanna
men do that?
hold on. Let
Did,
me. I wanna respond because
I want to talk about this. Black
right.
men are the least respected out of all other
Mhm.
races. You all
Yeah,
are the
that's a
least. You are the least paid. Your salaries are $200.
that's what I'm asking. Is that our
well
fault?
JT,
No,
hold on. I wanna
I'm just
respond.
telling you that
Yeah, she just laying it out. Let her lay it
I'm
out.
laying it out, right? That you guys have we have these wars with black women who have done nothing but be loyal to black men. We desire black men. We prefer black men. Black men have made it clear that they prefer white women over us.
Mhm.
Even though they have made that clear, we still remain loyal. And the
Mhm.
women you all desire are the women who are closer to white women,
Oh.
biracial women, the lighter that they are, the
Mhm.
more features that they have that represent. Those are the women that you desire more. You all know that, and that's just the truth.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Now, let me respond to that because I do want to offer some pushback because you asked what do black women owe black men, and I'll just lay it out very clearly. You owe us gratitude. Like we talk about America as if America was built solely by white men when it wasn't. Black men have fought in every major American uh, military conflict that they've ever had. Let's not forget that black women would not be emancipated right now if it were not for black men enlisting in the Civil War to fight for the freedom of themselves, their wives, and their children. And so when I listen to brothers talk, see, we like to have these conversations on a one-dimensional aspect, but we can't just have it on a one-dimensional aspect, which I said is why it's a love and hate relationship. Because yeah, when we're talking horizontally, how we get together horizontally, you can say sisters are loyal because they still sleep with brothers, they still have children by brothers. But now we have to look at it from another aspect. And what you hear many brothers enumerating is the relationship they had with their mothers, which is a
Yes.
vertical
So
relationship because
why do black women have to endure the self-hate that black men project on us? How is it? We have historically praised black men, put black men on a pedestal,
I
yes,
think that's the mixed bag, sis.
put black men on a pedestal, even when they are not deserving, meaning that they are unable to provide for us like other races, and their men have been able to come in, take a patriarchal role. They don't want to raise their children. They
Okay.
don't want to take a provider role. And black women continue to stand beside them regardless. So what I would say to black women is maybe there's some self-hate going on for you as well, that you would tolerate a man that does that to you. But what do we do? How do we join with you when you clearly don't desire us, even when we're loyal to you? We're not your preference.
Well, let me respond. I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but I do want
Yes,
to just highlight something.
I want other people to give me their opinion.
Yeah.
I'm asking some tough questions because I
You
really want to
you
get
asking.
to it. I really
That's what I'm
want to get
saying.
to
Like
it.
what you saying to one, and I don't think that's every black man attention, intent and stuff like that. But it's like if what I was bringing up earlier, you said we was put in the same situation as black men, right? So what you got to understand as black men, if that was the foundation that was set, you think how this world is set up, you think it's set up for black men to be patriotic, to lead
We are
these
not the
households.
only race of people who have been dominated and oppressed, but we are the only race of people who don't know how to stick by our women. You guys have allowed whatever to influence your decision to stick by your women to the point where you don't subconsciously prefer us. There's nothing we can do. We don't desire, or you all don't naturally desire us. We are a secondary choice to the point where we're not even being married and or made what is it? An honorable woman in
Well,
American eyes.
speaking from experience, Juana, I mean, because I've been with women out my race. I guess that makes me a sellout or so. But
No.
no,
I didn't use
I'm
that
saying,
word.
look, I'm
I
saying
didn't use
that
that
I'm
word.
saying that jokingly. You know, one of my kids mixed and stuff like that. But honestly, like based on my experience, I guess I had to go through my experience with women, and that's why I prefer black women now and stuff like that, because I had to go through those different experience with different race culture women, and I feel like the culture of women that I want to be with is a black woman, just based off my experience.
Because you dated women who were probably rejected by their own race and dated you as like
I don't think they were rejected by their own
listen,
race. It's just what they.
this is my experience with women that don't are not black. They date you guys, they date black men because they can dominate you. And
That's not true.
they are rejected by their own race.
That's not
They
true.
see you as a weaker race. Okay.
What can I?
Like I'm gonna tell you, look, I dated a woman, I think she was Arab or something like that, but her culture, like she was telling me, I thought she was joking, but she said her people would disown her if she was found out that she was dating black people.
Yes,
But
she's rejected by her own race.
you talk,
Absolutely.
if you want to talk about how black men talk to their women, you need to go speak to the Arab women, how they get mistreated in their relationships, how their men don't even let them even speak in a conversation and stuff like that. But me dating this woman and stuff like that, me learning all this their culture and stuff like that. I don't think she was just doing it cause
But you know what they do that's different from black men? They marry their women and they raise their families.
yeah, but that doesn't.
Well,
Hold
only
on, listen.
20%,
Just
only
cause
26% of
I
y'all
marry you,
marry us.
hold on. Just cause I marry you doesn't mean I fully have respect for you.
Well, in black, so how do you guys? Okay, so since that doesn't mean you respect and love us, how do you show love and respect for black women?
I
By
mean,
making them wives and creating a
yeah,
safe environment
Okay,
for them.
but y'all
look,
don't make us
not just
wives.
making them wives, but
Well,
having.
Y'all don't make us wives. So
well, hold on.
what I'm asking is, how do y'all currently show us? Because y'all don't make us wives.
What that's what I want to
We're baby
respond to.
mamas.
Well, listen, that's what I want to respond to, and this is what I wanted to say. It's five brothers on the panel, and one sister, and it's your show and it's your panel. But everything that you've been doing for the past 10 minutes, we're not having a conversation. We're being accused as black men.
No, I'm
And this is
asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
I understand, but this is what I'm saying. Because let's just dispel a couple of myths. The notion or the idea that black men can't provide is a myth. I'm a black man and I make 500,000 a year, so that's a myth. The notion that we don't marry our women and we prefer other races of women. My wife is black and we've been married 21 years, 22 years coming in March, and
Great.
I'm only 40. The notion that we don't take care of our.
Is your wife 100% black or is she
Yes,
biracial?
yes, she is. She's from the same neighborhood I'm from.
Okay.
Avondale, Louisiana. And I have six children, three girls that I've taken care of, and I've made all types of sacrifices for to make sure that they would be safe and well taken care of to the best of my ability. So this is what happens when we have these conversations, and then I understand you're playing devil's advocate, but this is to a lot of these other brothers who I know. You could say that my situation is unique. It's a different situation. It's not something you see every day. But for a lot of other brothers, this is how it sounds to them. It sounds accusatory. They're always being they're always being accused. But if you go even look at black demographics,
Yeah.
black men who make over 100,000 a year, I think the percentage is like 80 to 90% of them marry black women.
Can
You
can
see,
I
so
can I
yes,
respond to you,
sure,
Amos? I'm not being accusatory, but there is a large percentage. 26% of African Americans get married,
right.
right? And then 15% of those are interracial. That's a high percentage.
Okay, now I understand that.
So black men are historically not marrying us.
Yeah, but there's a cause for that though, sis, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get to is
Mhm.
is the cause because
So
and you
you
heard
are
the
a rarity.
yeah, I know,
I
I know,
am
I am.
married to a black man as well. So don't
Right,
I am. I love
right,
black men. I'm married and I've been chosen by a black man. Um,
right.
but I'm talking about the people who choose not to marry black women, right? I try not to speak from my own personal perspective and view because I know that there's a population of women who are having a difficulty connecting with and marrying black men. And I want to get to the root of it. Do you
Mm.
really genuinely hate black women, or is there a fundamental issue that we really need to tackle and figure out? I guess
I
that's
think
where I'm at.
it's both. You do have some brothers, and this is why I'm hard on them on social media anyway, who do hate black women. And so this is why I don't allow brothers on social media to make excuses for why they can't do what they need to be doing. All this talk about these women submitting and leadership, first and foremost, leadership is an exercise in setting the example. It's not barking orders, it's not a certain dominance. That's not what leadership is. You set the example. You don't ask anybody to do something you're not willing to do. And if you're willing to do it, you're already doing it, so you don't have to ask your wife to do it or your lady to do it.
Let me respond to Doctrine. He says, Edwana Chika, if you get a chance, can you speak on if there is something about biracial people? Let me be clear, okay? I think that you can have a preference, whatever your preference may be. But what I find is that black men don't naturally desire true just black women who have features that are
Mm,
rooted in West African culture, right? They want
right.
black women who have Eurocentric features. They want black
Mm,
women who present biracial. They want black women to have these type of hairstyles, beauty standards that are set in America, that they don't truly desire black women. So that's why I asked about, is your wife biracial or is
mm,
she black? Because that is going to show,
mm,
okay, do black men truly desire black women, right? Because
right.
I am very like, I have, softer features, right? Like
Mm,
I'm desirable to black men. My skin is light enough for black men. So I know,
right.
and I try to remove myself from the conversation because I know that black men will desire me because my skin tone, my features are softer. I can present with features that are Eurocentric. But what about women who don't look like me, who don't
Mm,
have those features? Do black men desire these women? Because these are the women who are willing to submit to you, that love you, that stay loyal to you guys, but you don't choose them.
yeah, they want to use the term the kids are using today. They want bad bitches. So I'm not going to deny that there's truth to what you're saying. And like with this colorism that's prevalent. You have a lot of like we have the casual self-hatred of Negroes today, of black people today is astonishing. It's just casual. That's part of what's fueling the gender war too. It's self-hatred. So there is that where brothers will put women who are closer to the Eurocentric beauty of standard on a pedestal and shun sisters who aren't, who are on the opposite end of that. That's just the unfortunate reality. But I can only speak for
The
myself.
only way to prefer us is to acknowledge that you do prefer that. That is the only way, because Black men are in denial about their preference of white women. And once they acknowledge that they prefer that, then we can say, okay, well, now what I have been conditioned to believe that this is the idea of femininity. So now anything opposite of that, I am rejecting naturally. So you call us masculine. You say we're not as desirable. You call us all these things. And a little bit of that, I see Ralph projecting that on me in a lot of our conversations, that he naturally has this perception of Black women, right? Because of his experience. So he naturally projects that on me. And a lot of men in these YouTube spaces do that.
But they need to get therapy. See, YouTube is not for therapy. YouTube is not for therapy. And that's what these brothers need to understand. You don't get to come and project your mother wound onto the rest of the Black society. That's not what it's for.
Black men are not in denial, Chicago Realist said. The ones that like white women are very vocal about it. No, sir. Subconsciously, Black men who like white women do not acknowledge it. They deny it to the fullest, and literally that is their preference, and that is their idea of femininity. And so a Black woman is not what they consider feminine. And Black men are the only race of men who reject their own women.
Now,
only race of men.
Now I have to chime in.
Yes, go ahead, Ralph.
Have to chime in.
Yes.
Let's make one thing very, very clear, especially Amiri.
Yes.
Nobody here, especially not I, is sitting here picking and choosing. I'm going to take my mother wound nonsense, whatever you said, on specific women. We disagree, but I stand 10 toes on what I believe in. It's not the same thing. This ain't no, see, because you don't even know what you're talking about. I don't do that. I'm not, you see, I'm not with the manosphere thing, because they tell you go monk mode, don't mess with women, pump and dump. That's corny. So don't put that on my jacket. You never even spoke to me. I'm right here. That's not me. Now, she feels what she feels. We hash that out, but that's not where it's coming from. That's one. Two, it's not Black men hating Black women. We want the best like you want the best. But it's easier for you women to get the best because women are just simply more attractive. It's easier for you to find a mate, even if psychologically you're not up to par. You don't have to have other things to compensate it all the time. Like your body can be enough for some dude to be like, you know what, I'ma still deal with her. You ever seen a female pick up a dude at a bus stop? I believe in you. No. So it has nothing to do with us not liking Black women. I've seen a lot of Black couples, and they wasn't always pretty together. The point is, you have to have the willingness to want to be with that person. But you know, stereotypes and the images that's put in front of us, if it's not TV, it's social media, even so much as like makeup and stuff like that. See, I get accused of being like some type of womanizer or whatever. Well, you don't like girls with makeup, whatever. No, I don't, because if you really believe in your natural beauty, those additives take away the value because it's hidden underneath the makeup. It's not bringing out. When you're putting something on top of something, it's covering. So it's not it's not really emphasizing. It's taken away.
Ralph, I have to stop you though, because Black men like women who wear makeup because they date those women with the eyelashes and they date those women with the makeup and the
I love it.
And the
nah,
body.
let me show you this right here. My woman, she knows, like on my Instagram, right? Sometimes I had days where I'd be like, man, I'm gonna just follow this page, girls with cheeks all over, big titties, all that, right? Okay, but she'd be like, you like them hoes. Like the thing is, it's like I'm attracted to hoes, but I don't like hoes. That's what I'm attracted to, because that the point is to attract. That doesn't mean that's what I like. They're attracted to that. They're not wifing them. And if they do, well, I guarantee you they're not happy, because you're always dealing with a person that's giving you a shell of themselves. If you can't live with, I see you every day without that, just leave it alone. You still got to depend on that while you're with me. You're not really with me, because in the back of your mind, you think, well, one day this is gonna be over, so I'm gonna hold on to this makeup. I'm gonna hold on to this eye, like these goofy eyelashes. I be telling my wife all the time, like, I don't know what's up with women wanting long ass eyelashes, because until that damn eyelash curl and fall on your damn eyeball, you don't know the trauma that feel. I have long eyelashes. It's terrifying. You feel like your eyes gonna fall out. It's just like, but it's stupid. It's superficial. What? Okay, I could see
But
your
the
eyelashes.
women, let me say this, Ralph. The women who desire them, who are natural, who don't wear makeup, are not the women that they're choosing. They're not marrying those women.
No,
No, you're not. Y'all not
the
marrying
women.
those women.
Now this is the
Y'all
interesting
not
thing.
attracted to those women.
This
Y'all
is
are
the interesting
marrying
thing, though.
the women who have the surgeries, who have the eyelashes, who have the makeup. Those are the women that you guys are at. The women who represent or who are closer to Eurocentric beauty standards are the women that Black men marry. They do not marry the women that they claim who value them, who don't wear makeup, who are natural. They don't marry those women, Ralph.
Hey, can I chime in? Can I chime in?
Yes, J Mac.
Okay. Are you saying black men marry white women? That's what you're trying to say?
15% of the marriages are interracial marriages, mostly are white women. Some of them are, Puerto Rican and other races, but most of them are white women. So yes, Black men, your preference is white women. We see
No,
that.
the hell is not.
Okay. I
But
disagree with that.
I know, Ralph, it's not your preference, but I'm telling you what Black men do. The actions speak louder than the words, right?
Okay,
Okay.
nah, this a
You
lie,
you
because
you are anomaly though.
I
no, because sorry, go ahead, J
Go ahead,
Mac. Go
J
ahead, bro.
Mac.
all right, this what my thing is, and I'm only speaking from my opinion on it. I'm not arguing against any numbers that been presented, because wherever y'all got the numbers from, kudos to those numbers. Yes, I think black men are attracted to all women. And yes, some black men has evolved to accepting white women. I don't think it comes from what the values of what y'all think it is. I think they find white women to be more submissive, less aggressive, and less challenging. And I think we didn't talk about this all the time. Black women always want to pull this card and say that we run to the white women and stuff. I don't have a preference. I have not dated that many white women in my life. I have found few attractive. I'm more attracted to, I already said what my complexion was, brown skinned females. That's my thing, and what have you. And that's what I've been mostly attracted to all my life. Not racist, don't really care about it. But I'm smart enough to know the difference between how most of them women are and how most y'all are. Black women tend to be strong, aggressive, willing to fight you on things, and they don't. And it's like it's a competition there. White women tend to be more submissive. They tend to be allowing. They tend to allow you to lead, no matter what the role is, the income, or what have you. And yes, I believe that's the difference. So when we speak on why
So,
men
J
are
Mac, can I tell you this? That there are communities of Black women who are teaching other Black women to be submissive to Black men, who to listen to everything Black men say. There are millions of followers of women who feel like you should submit to the Black man. They are Black male worshipers, what we call them, and they feel like they should submit to the Black man, that they should give the Black man everything that he desires. And guess what? They're still not married to Black men. None of
okay?
them.
Yeah,
Well,
but
They are
that's
not.
not
They are
where
not
we at though.
chosen.
That's
in the
not where
Can I
we
can
are.
I can, can
in
I
the
can I add to that
no,
what he was?
Let me tell you
my
what you
point.
Black
Okay,
men
go
Let me
ahead.
do.
finish my point. Let me finish my
Let me tell
point.
you what you Black men do. You Black men, you lower your standards for all non-Black women, but for us, you make us feel like we don't meet the standard that you set, but we can never
That's
meet it because
that's not true,
it's
Tawana.
Eurocentric views. It's rooted in
That's a lie.
Eurocentric views.
Juana, I gotta get you on this
Okay,
one.
go ahead. Go
Let me,
ahead.
That's a
no, hey,
lie.
I
Ralph,
want to
let me
hear
finish
what you
my
got to
point,
say.
then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go.
J Mac, go
I'm
do your
curious.
thing, and I'm gonna go after it.
Let me
Go
finish
ahead,
my
Jay.
point, then I'll go on mute.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
disagree with that, Tawana. I think through the day and time of where we at in life and where this world just spins around to, all the decades that pass by, I think they just find it more. I hate to say these words. I think they just find it more easier for women that are naturally by design doing it. Just like black men are tend to be, just like black people tend to be more athletic as a race than others. I think we come along with certain things about us, with our aggression, the way we built, the mentalities we have, the mentality we was forced to be slaved into, evolve into, personality wise, some of our poverty struggles, and just who we are as people, we tend to be more combative with each other. So I'm not gonna blame it all on the fact that they don't appreciate the women. I think they just get tired of struggle and they move on to what they feel like is less challenging. And that's just that simple for me.
Yeah, because you lower your standards. You date the women that are rejected by the other races, and they're not as beautiful. You just accept whatever in other races, but with us, you overly critical. Go ahead, Ralph. I would love to hear
No.
what you got to
And
say.
this is why I'm gonna tell you that's such a lie. I have lowered my standards with a lot of black women. Now,
Okay.
like I told you, I date. I've always been in a big girls, but now it's a different kind of big. It's like hamburger patty big. It's like, what is wrong with you? But it's like I've even, she kind of big, but it's like I could see it potential. Maybe go to the gym with her type of stuff. That type of stuff. I don't. Well, I got two. She got two kids. I don't want to deal with that, but give her the benefit of the doubt. Got buck ass teeth. Like I see things that I don't like, but I look past that because I'm thinking about, well, I am kind of attracted to her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's
Yeah.
not. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just the attitudes that these women have. Like, man, you know how it was like back in the day when you talk to a fat girl, respectfully saying, talk to a fat girl, she was just all over, like, man, he talking to me? Shit. Nowadays, it's like, nigga, I'm good. You just like big, like in your mind, like you better be grateful that I even acknowledge your ass nowadays. Like it's just the mindset that they have today is unattractive. And then when you mentioned something about this little community of black women that's doing all this and that and nobody's marrying them. Where the hell are they at? Because I'm guaranteeing you, these same women that's
They
saying that
all
are probably
around.
being very choosy about the men that's coming their direction with all the shit that they're advertising. And I'm pretty sure they're being very choosy, just saying talking the good talk because they're still doing the looking for the high value man thing. So
Mhm,
I,
mhm.
black men, it's a lot of brothers I know, man, I need my sister. I know brothers right now, man. Ain't no woman better than a black woman. And I don't technically discriminate, but white women, I can't really get into it. Like that's just me. But if I see cakes, I'm not gonna say act like I don't want it. But the thing is, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just these are the dudes that maybe a lot of these women are attracted to. That's not into them. They're assuming that that's how all of us think.
Mhm.
You got a lot of brothers in their face every day talking to them, trying to get with them. All you want is the fuck. How
But
do
they're
you know
not.
that?
But they're not marrying them, Ralph. They're not marrying them, and it proves it because we have the lowest of all other races. We have the lowest marriage rates. Black men are having babies with us. They want to have sex with us. They desire us sexually, but they do not want to make us wives.
That's because you're going by the perception that marriage is a ring. Marriage is based on a ring and a piece of paper. That's European concept of
That
marriage.
is. That is.
When
Yep.
the man put his thing inside of a woman in African culture, you're already bound.
Yeah,
That's marriage.
but we don't. But we don't I
Man,
guess
like that's a deflection. The sister's right. Brothers do by and large they lambaste black women for being anti-black family when they're just as anti-black family. Let's just tell the truth. Like this is where we are. This is what the brother Reese opened up with. This is where we are. He talked about the sexual habits and how it wasn't like this, but this is where it is now. People just hooking up cat to have as much casual sex as possible. So
and
that's the problem. Like you
can
just
I
don't
ask
value marriage. Brothers do
can I
not
ask
value
the
marriage.
men
But
can
that's
I ask
not
the men
me.
on the panel? I'm
I'm
sorry.
not saying you. We just
No, no, no.
we're
I
talking
know
in
you're not
general.
saying that, but I'm saying
Right.
a lot of brothers don't understand marriage. So they just think, well, if I get people are married the way that society accepts marriage and still aren't committed. So what is marriage by that definition? You got the tape,
Several.
you did the ceremony.
He said, how many men do you know personally that are married to white women? Several. Lots.
But that's where you at. But that is
I know
not
so many.
everywhere.
And they
That's
go
not everywhere though.
they went to U of I Champaign where it was a whole community of black women, but they married white women. Yep, I know a lot of them.
Yeah, but that's just one instance of the people
them.
you know though. That doesn't mean that
No,
that's
he asked me though.
I get that, but that's but that doesn't make it true everywhere. Because I see a lot of black couples, and I'm in California, so it's a lot of diversity out here. And I still see a lot of black couples. I'm like, well, damn, like let me get one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if only 26% of us are married, and 15% of that 26% is interracial, you guys are showing who you.
Yeah, but what percentage of that 15% is black women marrying out too? Because sisters they have a whole swirling movement.
7%.
So it's 8 and 7. So it's roughly equal.
I
out of that 15%, if 7% of
y'all marry outside of your race almost 3 times more than we do.
But you're saying y'all,
that's not because hold on, that's not because sisters don't want to, it's because they can't. Because listen, it's not just black men that see sisters as the least desirable. Let's keep it a buck. Sisters are seen least desirable across the entire racial spectrum amongst all women. Like when you said black men are the least respected, sisters are the least desired, and it's because of racism.
And black women are black women are completely 100% still loyal to black men and won't date outside of their race.
You know what's funny? And you mentioned earlier about the natural stuff, right? Females' natural hair and all that stuff. I've noticed that more natural black women with they froze out always go for white men.
They go with white men, yeah.
So
because white men prefer black women in their natural and their west.
Listen to the how crazy that sounds. We prefer that. We tell them take the weave out, take the makeup off. But nigga, don't tell me what to do.
Marry them. Y'all don't marry them.
I understand what the sister's saying, because yeah, brothers say that, but then when you go and look at who DMs they've been in on Instagram, those ain't the sisters DMs they've been in. They've been in the sisters who look racially ambiguous, got the hair, got the nails, got the fake hydrogel behind.
That's who black men. That's who you guys marry. You don't.
No. A man can't just marry a woman because he says so. She has to accept it for one. Yeah. 2, men are attracted to. Men don't. We attracted to what we're attracted to. But if we find someone, because the way men are wired when we are connected to a woman, it's not like we just turn that off. Like a lot of dudes do. I'm not having a bias, but when a dude is into a woman, that you ever see me trying to talk to a dude chick? Hey, bro, that's my woman. Nigga. Like, you know, it's on. Like, so it ain't no playing. So dudes don't be playing about their girls, and they be a lot of sisters with brothers. Whatever their mindset is their mindset, but at the end of the day, that's not entirely true. It's just maybe what you've been seeing it's overwhelming because it's a lot, but that's just in that general area for you. But elsewhere, nah. It seems like, well, damn, like every black female I see, she taking. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna step off. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody else? Do you guys have anything? Because I wanted to ask another question. Go ahead, Reese from Philly.
Talk about irony. I was on a live stream earlier today with 5 dudes, and the host asked us, he went around the circle and asked us, what percentage of black women are marriage material? before I give you the answers, I want you to tell me what you think our answers were.
Well, I would say 0 because you guys are not marrying us. So how you tell me how many? I would say that you all don't think black women are marriage material because you guys are not marrying black women. You're putting babies in them and having multiple babies with multiple women, but you're not making them wives.
But you know one thing we always tend to overlook is why we're doing that. That's all. That's often left out the discussion. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happens for no reason at all. It's for there are reasons for that. So, me personally,
Please give us the why.
I live in Philadelphia, and the women in Philadelphia are dragging. You know what I'm saying? And that's most of them. So, as far as the dating pool goes, the men that are like, quality men or whatever, they don't have too much of a pool to pick from over here. It might depend on where you're from and what demographic you're in, or how you answer that question. The answer could be different depending on where the man is from. You know what I mean? And where he goes.
Do you know that black women are the most educated of all races?
But we don't
that
care.
There is an emergence of the respect for the black woman, but when black women refuse to date outside of their race, in several instances they will not be disloyal to the black man, even though he doesn't prefer them.
What? Let me answer that. I want to answer that because this is something that
Go ahead, Eric.
this is something that we hear. Well, I don't care about her education, her accomplishments. That's the first demerit you get when it comes to leadership. That should be your primary concern.
White men and other races care about that because they care
Well,
about
this
who's
is what I'm.
raising their children.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. You want your wife who's y'all, we was talking about order, who would be your second in command. You want her to be just as capable as you.
No.
So so when I hear brothers say this, what it lets me know is that many of them are threatened by the accomplishments and the smarts and intellect of a woman.
Let me finish.
I don't want
go ahead though.
an unaccomplished, uneducated woman who can't steady the ship if something were to happen to me, or if I fall out of commission for a while. That's just leadership. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. That has
nothing
everything
to do with my
That's
answer.
not a fact.
What I'm
That's not a
trying
fact.
to help you understand is when I said I don't care. This is what black men from that I know are saying when we say we don't care. We are not saying I don't care that she has an education. Obviously, we don't want no dumb woman. We saying you can have all the education in the world, but if you're not smart enough to listen, then what difference does it make? It ain't got nothing to do with her being dumber than me. Oh yeah, she does what I say. Oh, the sky is yellow, but it clearly is blue. We're not saying that. Well, I'll speak for myself now. I'm not saying that. I don't care about how many accolades she has. Can she listen? Can she be a wife? You can't.
Why should she listen to you if she's more accomplished than you? Why should she listen to you? You need to be listening to her.
Then what is the point of leadership if her accomplishments makes her basically more of a man than me? Then it defeats the purpose. Because you're basically that's what I'm alluding to. Because you're basically saying that accolades make you more of a man than you as a man itself.
Accolades has nothing to do with manhood.
Then it doesn't matter how accomplished she is. Then it's an accomplishment, great. But what does that have to do with her ability to fall within her role? Because if we're talking culturally, no matter how educated a woman is, she still has a role to play in the house, and the children will see that dynamic. It's structured.
Let me get in next.
Okay, then hold on. Let me respond to him.
Nah, hold on.
Let me respond to him. It's not gonna take long. I'm gonna give a.
You asked for it.
Can J Mac go?
No,
and
let me
then
get
you
in
cancel your
because
go ahead, J Mac.
You want disagreeing? She got it, Tawana. Here you go. First of all, nobody is challenged by no woman with no education. You may struggle with that challenge. I'm not challenged by that. Another thing is education and smarts don't balance out to relationship balance. They don't even have a fucking thing to do with a relationship. So if you're challenged by a woman that's more educated than you, then you need to look in the mirror and have them talks with yourself and reassure yourself in the ways, whatever you need to do as a man.
That's not the reason why people pick and choose what they want. We need to stop trying to find reasons why it's this and it's that. And we're speaking of from perceptions anyway. People move on with people they evolve with, they find togetherness with, and they move on. If black women feel like black men are going for white women and what have you, there's their reasons why they do it. There's their reason why they don't. Black women are, yes, they are, tend to be more competitively challenged to compete. It's in our nature, who we are as human beings and a human race.
I'm
So
glad you said that, J Mac, because black men, you all don't compete with other men. You do
They compete with black women.
You compete
oh
with
my God.
you all compete with
Bruh.
black women, but refuse to compete with black men.
Compete with other competing groups of men.
And even
This
when
is what they do.
and even when compared to
Oh my
other
God.
races,
Yeah.
you guys praise their patriarchal system, but then you degrade your own women and don't support your own.
We compete with women?
Yeah, because
Hey,
what you do
black
is
women?
yes, they do. They
Let me
You
okay. Now
say
said
what
you said that
J Mac go.
we
You know
praise.
what?
I let J
J-Mac,
Mac go.
let me say
Hold
what
on,
you guys
hold on,
do.
hold on.
I want to
Let me
respond.
say
And I'm
what
just
you
gonna
guys
give a
do.
simple
You
example.
guys compare black women to other women and other races all the time. Because guess what?
Oh my God. Oh, we're not talking
You
about the topic?
acknowledge that those men have raised their women better than you guys have raised your own women. But
No,
Exactly.
we didn't say
and
that.
you praise them
That's y'all.
for the way that they have.
Exactly. That's what they're doing.
You
No,
have
that's not
praised
what we
them,
do. That's what you do.
J-Mac.
Stop saying
No,
what
that's
we
what
doing.
that's what
No,
they're
that's
doing
what
with
you
the
do.
argument.
Black men.
No, that's what you do.
With
Stop
the
saying what we doing. That's what you
that's
do.
what you the
Because
sister
you
has
brought
she's
I'm
breaking it
just-
down
I'm
right.
just-
on here.
I'm saying a natural observation. Black men have no wealth, no social power,
No political
That's a
power.
fact.
Okay.
no
And
resources.
that's why we move on to
Hey,
something else.
I'm not
That's why
talking
we
about
move on to
you
something else.
individually, A-Marie.
She's
I'm
talking
not
about the
talking
group.
about you individual, J-Mac. I'm not talking about JP.
But it's
You
hard.
all may individually have wealth, but I'm talking about black men historically. Like, look at the salary, right? They have no power, no social power, no resources, right? They have no wealth,
Right.
but they want black women to somehow choose them, right? They want us to choose them,
What?
even though they don't want us.
I
They
disagree.
don't even want to
What?
choose us.
Can I respond to what Ralph was saying? Let me respond to
let me
that.
let J Mac respond because I know I said something directly to him.
Exactly.
And then,
Okay.
then
Exactly.
Amory, then you can go, and then Ralph can go. Go ahead.
Hey,
No, I need to go, but go ahead.
hey,
Go ahead,
hey,
JP.
Tawana,
Okay. Yes.
you just said it. Y'all point out all these statistics that we don't have, and then get mad we don't choose your statistic. That's not for you personally.
Right.
I'm
No, I
speaking
know.
on
I
the
know what
topic.
you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You get mad because we don't choose your opinionated, competitively statistic-seeking ass. So we move on to where it's less of a struggle, where a woman values more of the man than the actual what he is or what he don't. See, that's the difference. You can have all these numbers, you can have this money and all that. That does not result into effective relationship because the problem is people are too competitive. You brought up all the shit that men don't have or black men don't have. Okay, so y'all the ones counting what we don't have, what we not statistically inclined at, the numbers we don't have in this era and all that.
No, J
And
Mac,
like,
what
well,
I'm
that's
doing
the
is
problem in
comparing
itself.
y'all to other men of other races. And
Yeah, but we outnumbered.
and
We
I'm
outnumbered though.
I'm
We are
showing
very
y'all.
Here we
outnumbered.
go with the excuses.
No, it's
That's
not
not. Hold
about
on.
that.
That's not an excuse, brother.
Okay, wait,
That's
let
not
me
an
let-
excuse.
It is.
That's not an
It is
excuse.
an excuse.
No,
It's
let
an
me
if she
let
excuse.
said
Emily
numbers,
Let me-
Mary, whatever your name is, if she
Yeah.
said numbers, we are outnumbered. So you can't keep
That's
bringing up
you being.
numbers. That's not an
Listen,
excuse. So don't sit there and say that.
Okay,
it
so
is an
no,
excuse
This
because
my whole thing.
when the Haitian Revolution took place.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold
go
on,
ahead.
man. Hold on, because you keep saying excuse. I don't
You
make
didn't gotta get
excuses.
emotional.
I don't make
Don't
excuses.
tell
But
nobody
if you
how to
keep
get
bringing up numbers, we are outnumbered. So you can't keep bringing up numbers. She's talking to a bunch of black men that on this panel. I don't work for nobody. I have my own business.
So some of the stuff that she's talking about, I can't relate to. I'm just being honest. So I have a family. I am with a black woman. I am not married. I am engaged.
Right.
So I can't relate to some of these things that Tawana keeps speaking of. So when you keep saying excuse, it's not an excuse.
It
But
is
we
an
are
excuse.
outnumbered when it comes down to numbers, man.
Oh my God.
Haiti, the Haitians on the island
Let
of
me let
Haiti were
Anne-Marie. Let me go. Let me
were
let you respond. Go ahead.
Haitians on the island of Haiti were outnumbered, and they overthrew the French. Brothers make excuses, just period. Okay, that's just what it is. Now, the brother J Mac, now he was just talking about white women and how white women are this and white women are that. What he didn't mention though was how white women are also more educated than them. But that's not a problem when it comes to the white women.
Damn.
Though. It's
What
on.
are you?
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me
No,
off.
I'm cutting you off with your bullshit.
Don't let me finish my
You got
point.
bullshit. What are you?
Let
You
me
keep
let me
saying
finish
them.
my point.
What are
Because
you?
white women are more educated
JC,
than you too. But for
You?
some
Who
reason,
are you?
J Mac,
for
can
some
you let
reason, it's not a
J Mac
problem.
let him respond, and I'll let you respond
Yeah, you ain't
after.
got
God
to keep cutting
damn.
me off. You ain't got to keep cutting me off.
I'll let you respond
White women.
after.
I'm stating a fact. White women are more educated than you too. In fact, any other group of women you go to are going to be more educated than you as black men. That's just the reality. But for some reason, it's only a problem when sisters are more educated than you or are more accomplished than you. This is ain't got nothing to do with gender. This is just human. This is just human. No, you can't expect a person who is more accomplished than you, who's smarter than you, who's more driven than you, who's more ambitious than you, to just subordinate themselves to you. Why should they do that? It's just like it's just like if you had like when I go somewhere, I got 3 daughters and I have 3 sons. My oldest son and then my other 2 younger sons, they're they're younger than my daughters. So when I leave the house, and me and my wife not here, who you think I'm gonna leave in charge? You think I'm gonna leave my son in charge because he's a man and he's a male? No, I'm going to leave my daughter in charge because she's more competent because she's the oldest. So we don't even understand leadership and what we're talking about. We want to make it a gender thing. It ain't got nothing to do with gender. So if brothers want these sisters to be in a subordinated state, then you subordinate them by getting your weight up and getting your game up. But this thing where you want to be beneath these women socially, politically, and economically, and then expect for some reason that they just out the blue they're gonna submit themselves to you for what? Why? She doesn't have to do that, and it's not her fault that she did what she was supposed to do, did everything to get her social capital up and her human capital up, and now because you didn't do what you were supposed to do as a man in the American society, black men today have it easier than they've ever had it. So what's the excuse? Their excuse is, well, women have it easier too. Man, get out of here. Get your weight up.
Let
And
me
this is the message
respond.
brothers need to
Let me
Let
hear.
J
respond
Mac.
to
I
that
want
Let
to
J Mac.
respond
bullshit.
too.
Let me
JC, I'll
respond to
let you
that
respond
bullshit.
after J Mac. Go ahead,
See,
J Mac.
that's bullshit. And all this you and your goddamn whatever nigga, whatever. Let me first of all, don't tell me how to get on here. I'm gonna respond how the fuck I want to respond. Second of all, nigga, what you talking on here is some simp ass shit.
Can you
You
not say that word? Because I'm gonna get demonetized. You
okay?
can't say
Simp
you
Hey,
means
can't
bro,
standing
say
in
the
I'm
you
masculine
calling
can't
you
say
a
principle.
the
simp.
I'll
N.
take that. Simp
Don't
I'm
say
means
calling you a simp.
standing in
Let me
masculine
finish.
principle. I'll
Let
take
me
that.
finish. Let me
I'll
finish
take
with you,
that.
simp.
don't say the
Let me
N
finish with
word,
you,
I'll
please.
simp.
take that.
Let me finish with you, simp.
This ain't high school.
Because
Name
YouTube.
calling won't get
Hey,
you no brownie
hey,
points
you
with me.
guys.
Hey,
One minute. One
hey,
minute, y'all.
let me explain how I'm gonna use my explanation how
Wait,
you a simp.
J Mac. 1 minute, y'all. No, the N word cannot be used because I will be demonetized or I will be kicked off of YouTube. So please, please, please do not use that word on this channel. Y'all can say whatever else because we've been more than 5 minutes in. It's okay to curse.
You got it. Hey, you
Okay.
got
All
it.
right, J Mac.
Let me address
Stop
the
being
simp.
emotional.
Let me address the simp on. You can call me emotional all you want to.
That's what you're being.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
hear you, clown. I hear you. Thank you.
Go ahead, J Mac.
Mute your mic.
Go ahead,
Like
J
I
Mac.
was saying before, I was cut off by a simp. This dude got all the goddamn answers on what we don't statistically meet or what we should be doing. If y'all got so much of a problem, don't complain about the options we take or when we move in the direction. I don't even fit the narrative I'm arguing, but I'm arguing a goddamn opinion about something around here that's clearly flawed. Y'all say statistically what we don't have and point that out, but at the same time you complaining saying we don't want you. Who it sounds like who don't want who? Y'all say we so uninclined to meeting certain criterias and pointing out what we don't have and you're on here complaining about who don't want who. I don't think that's what it is. I think people, when it comes down to challenge and struggle, I think sometimes women, especially black women, present challenges that some dudes ain't willing to put up with. It's just that fucking simple. Whether we want to accept it or not, whether somebody think we're making excuses or not. Yes, black women are strong, opinionated women. Yes, I am married happily to a black woman, and I don't have no problem with it. But I'm not about to sit up here and keep being told why I know men evolve and go in other directions, and y'all sit up here and make all these statistics up and then complain about why we don't want your ass. If the statistics needs to be brought up, why are we even competing? Why is that brought up? Because men and women get together and they learn how to become one. Whether you got money over here or you don't have money. Because if your ass broke and I got money, we gonna share it together. Vice versa, other way around. But I'm on here defending something because a simp want to get brownie points of whatever he think his life is or what he claim to have or what have you. He keeps saying them, y'all, they more educated than y'all too, brother. I don't give a shit about none of that. All I know is no matter what these statistics prove, the fact of the matter is some people just don't know how to be wife and husband together. And y'all got to accept the fact when people evolve and move on to something they feel that can give them that better option of becoming one, whether it's another race, whether it's white and black or whatever. But it sounds like since y'all keeping tabs of numbers, y'all not happy with the men that y'all have. So that's what are y'all doing? Because the numbers already proven that they are equal, that y'all equally marrying out of y'all race as well.
I want to tell black women
Can
to go ahead, JT. You go
I
ahead,
want to say
and then I'll let Ralph go, and then
I want to say what caught my attention really with this Amiri guy. He said, why she listen to you because she make more money and
right.
stuff like that. And I highly I disagree with that. If you in a relationship, if I make more money, that doesn't make me the boss. My woman is just entitled as well as I'm entitled, vice versa. And the second thing, the excuses. If I felt that directly, I don't know if it was directly towards me, but I don't make excuses in life. And a lot of stuff that we're talking about, I'm not in that percentage, a number of people that's going to get married out my race and stuff like that. Well, I dated out my race based off experience. You know, I've been around a lot. I mean, I got a lot of experience with different women, different cultures, but that's my experience. That's my life. I have a black woman now. So I'm not that statistic that's fitting, that's going out there marrying out my race and all that like that. I'm with a black woman now. I have a family and stuff like that. We doing our thing and stuff like that. I have a business. I move how I want. And I tell my girl this all the time. And she doesn't like how I say it, but I feel like everybody's in my fucking world. I don't move to everybody else's world and shit like that. And that's how I raise my kids. That's how I raise my kids. I want my kids to feel the same way. So all this making excuses, I'm just going off for statistics where we keep arguing on here about the numbers, why these people, all that. And it's hard to kind of see that if you got people on this panel saying opposite. That, I mean, that's all I'm saying.
So all that from J Mac
one
and
minute,
from
one
JT,
minute.
not to debunk what I was saying. I figured as much.
Amy, hold on 1 minute. Shout out to Information Man. Thank you so much for coming to my show. Information Man is a powerful brother. All of you brothers should be following him. He really is the truth. And the things that he talk about is real, like they're good for black men. So I think that you guys should watch him.
I do. I know Information Man. That's my guy.
Information Man is the shit. All right, let me let Ralph go because Ralph has been he wanted to speak, and then I'll let you go, Reese.
So, Amiri. So you keep that's his name. But, you know, it's like I've come across brothers like you plenty of times, and it's like you kind of take the same stances that a lot of respectfully saying women would do, taking it as like too literal. Like when you talk about, and I'll go with JT on this one, the excuses thing. You got to factor in a lot of young black men didn't have some of the advantages you may have had, And I'm not saying you had advantages growing up. You probably came up hard, didn't have no help, whatever. I don't know your story, but it's certain things in the mental of young black men that certain blocks have to be moved out the way for them to think clearly. Some brothers weren't like me, where it's like, hey, in my neighborhood, it's this bus called the 44, and I knew it went through the point, but it's like going the opposite way. What's the other side of San Francisco that it touched? One day I said, I'm gonna just get on that bus and just ride to the end. And even though San Francisco is a small city, it's so much about the city I didn't even know existed just by sitting on a bus. So my point is, not every young black man has somebody just pointing them in a direction to try new things. A lot of the people around them is doing the same thing because that's what's in front of them. So you say excuses like, I'm not in the greatest situation myself, but I didn't make excuses for myself to struggle through that. But damn sure all you qualified brothers wasn't out here helping either. But y'all sit back and talk the good talk because it's stuff is coming your way. But if you got it all figured out, you should be teaching young brothers the things that you feel that they should want to know. So if you really that big on being the difference in the black community, because it's always an excuse. Get up by your bootstraps. You giving us the same speech the white people do. They get up by your bootstraps. We did that Black Wall Street, and then they burned it down.
Brother, that was 100 years ago.
It don't matter how old it was, because guess what?
What have we done?
Because no, wait, hold on. Because guess what? Black Wall Street may have been quote unquote 100 years ago, but we never recovered from that. We stopped building black cities after they bombed us. We got, you know what? What's the point? What's the point? Because every time we build something, they're going to destroy it and then tell us we're lazy. It ain't excuses. It's we know what's out here again. I mean, because you talking really brave. We out here fighting mental battles and physical battles against our own brothers, trying not to kill each other. It's deeper than that.
I got death threats.
It ain't. I could give a damn about it.
That ain't got.
No. I could give a. I can care less.
I know what I'm saying. Is unpopular. I know it's unpopular.
It's not. No, it ain't unpopular. It's very common. But you're just speaking in behalf of the one. What I'm saying is this. It has nothing. At the end of the day, black men are struggling to not lose their sanity. Most black men my age and a little older don't even know who the hell they are. And you're talking about excuses. You're not in every black man's shoes. You made it good for yourself, and we're happy for you. But we haven't gotten there yet.
But you know what happens. You know what happens in the wild.
Amory, I'm gonna let you respond because everybody has come at you on this panel. But let me talk to Ron because Ron has been saying some very disrespectful stuff. But you see this, black women, I want you to see this. Black men and black women can't get along. 60% of black women are single, and more black men are encountering guys in the manosphere. So you hear
how's that wrong?
You hear what Ron is saying, right? He
but
basically is shaming us for our men not choosing us, even though we're loyal to them. This is what black men do. This is what a lot of black men do. He is an example of exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about that though. But you got a man on the panel that's promoting, basically saying, hold on.
JT, let Amory, because you all came
I just got to say one thing though. This was kind of uproar me.
Calm under pressure.
Can he respond just one time?
Calm under pressure? Come on, man. Stop all that.
JT,
calm under pressure.
Let him respond.
Stop that, man. Stop it.
All came at him.
Don't fall for it, JT.
Okay,
don't fall for
under pressure.
It's all good.
Listen.
Go ahead, Amory, because I do think that he has a point, and I think if you got just like
Tawana, he has a point saying the woman that makes more money, you don't have to listen.
But Ralph,
I didn't say that's not what I said.
But Ralph,
when Ralph said something, you said why she have to listen to you.
I gotta
listen. That's not what I said.
I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna mute myself.
I want you to respond.
That's not what I didn't say. I never said a wife wasn't supposed to listen to her husband. All I'm telling you is the logic. See, brothers claim men are so logical, but I'm telling you, look at it logically. It's just like if you was on a job, right? And you've been at this job 10, 15 years, and you done worked yourself to a point to where you're in a supervisory position, or you making a certain income, and then somebody come in on their first day, and they take that person that just got there on that first day, and they tell you who've been there 15 years and have the expertise on what you're doing, and they tell you, listen to this person right here on how to do this job, would you be offended?
Right.
So then you act, so that let's follow the logic. So then you wonder why the sisters have the disposition they have. And all I'm really saying is if you want the sisters to fall in their role, you got to do your role. And this is what irks me when it comes to brothers, because when we start talking about you doing your role, it's excuses. Oh, we outnumbered. Black men got it hard. We about to go insane. You know what I'm saying? As if black women just have it easy in this society. So that's all. I never said it. I never stop cutting me. You've been emotional. Because you can't even hold your tongue to that
Hey,
fish.
stop calling me
You can't even-
emotional. You
That's what
talking
you're doing.
from a safe place, dude.
That's
Stop
what you're
calling me
doing.
emotional.
You won't even let me finish.
J-Mac, in all fairness, you called him a nigga and some other stuff.
That's
Well,
it.
I shouldn't have said, so you did call
That's
him
it.
some names too, J-Mac, in all fairness.
He's a simp. He's a simp.
You
Okay.
can call me. Listen, you can call me whatever you want to call me.
So let
But
him,
but
let
I'm
him
not. I don't have to.
at least.
I don't have to theorize about what I'm talking about. I practice it, and I didn't have any advantages. I come from a broken home. I grew up in the hood, but you know what? I didn't make
Where you
excuses.
grew up at? Where you grew up at?
I grew up in Avondale, Louisiana, West Wego.
All right, I grew up in New Orleans, Avondale. Okay, big difference.
Okay, so you were saying as if I was lying, but let me finish saying what I was saying. See, because it's a very simple calculus.
Right.
In the wild, the animals who aren't equipped to survive, they die off. So brothers can continue to make excuses and act like these women just gonna change to make you feel like men. But nah, you can do that, but you ain't gonna like that hill that you die on. So I'm saying all I'm speaking is logic. It's straight logic. If you want these women to fall in their role,
if you want these women, you can't sit here. You're not speaking logic.
If you want these
You're
women
not
to fall
speaking
in,
logic.
if you
said
want
people
these women
making
to fall in
excuses.
your role,
We
then
can't make excuses
if you
if
want these
numbers
women
are
to fall
keep
in
being
their
thrown
role,
at us.
then you do your role. And finally, my last point, I'm speaking from a father. See, because I didn't bust my behind.
Carry up.
So I didn't bust my behind to give my daughters a better life and an inheritance when I leave here, for them to get with an underachieving nigga, underachieving Negro.
Right.
While she's taking care of the house, paying the bill.
You don't know what she gonna like. You don't know what she might like a white man when she get older.
And then
please.
Even though she's the one bringing all the capital to the relationship, all the advantages, she's supposed to submit to you because that's the only way you can feel like a man. Get off your ass and go out there compete in the world of men. Period.
Can I respond to this comment? Black women on Kevin Samuel's channel every day, lonely, begging, and whining. Yes, that's that black male worship that I was talking about. Validation that women need. No, it's validation that women need from black men, and they are willing to tolerate things that women in any other race would not tolerate from their men. And men in our community have been unable to maintain a patriarchal society and keep their women in order. We have exceeded black men in so many ways that it's almost impossible for us to mate or really effectively have a partnership with most of them. So don't tell me that
my issue is this right here then, with especially brothers like Miri, right? If this is the case, why is it that why don't a lot of you sisters go with men like Amiri and stop being so monogamous then? If these type of dudes are the answer, then there you go. Because if that's what you're looking for and it's narrow, you can't be choosy then. You got to just deal with the fact, hey, you know what? It's thin out here. This is a good man right here. He got it together. Let's create a bigger family with this man. Let's expand his lineage. Why not just do that?
Let me go next.
Because even with these athletes, it ain't really even about the education. It's about the numbers, right? It's the economics. If these athletes are so economically well off, then why is it a problem when they have another woman? Let all these sisters who out here, okay, he got 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. He can financially care for her, right? It's that simple. But no, It's
Because they don't
little. It has
prefer,
nothing to
because they
do with
don't prefer us, Ralph.
It has nothing to do with the
They don't
woman,
prefer us.
the man not being qualified. It's about what he has to offer.
They don't prefer
I mean,
us.
not even just that. It's control.
They
If you
don't
can't
prefer
control
us.
what he
They don't
has,
prefer us, Ralph. They prefer white women. That's their
if
preference.
they didn't prefer y'all, they wouldn't be smashing these. Not y'all, but like if they wouldn't be smashing these chicks in the club.
Yes, they will, because men
Hey,
have said that they will sleep
Tawana,
with anybody.
Tawana,
But they
can I
will
get in
not
for a second?
marry, but they will only marry their preferences. They sleep with us. Yeah, they have children with us. They will lay in bed with us, but they will not marry us. They do not prefer us.
Tawana,
And that's what I'm trying to tell black women. They
Tawana,
don't
can I
prefer
get in?
you. Go ahead.
Look, I'm tired of addressing Mr. Alverdale with his ignorance. We from New Orleans, Louisiana, too, so we're not that far from home.
Well, J Mac, we all have opinion, and I
Yeah,
think
I
that
mean,
it's
yeah,
good
right.
to have
But
an opinion
I'm
that's
calling
Yeah,
Alverdale
Some
ass
opinions are
out.
more valid than others. Though.
I got you, and it's ignorance. It's
yours is not more
I
valid.
love
Because
all of
you
y'all.
trust me, yours is
Oh,
not more
I got
valid
it.
than
I
mine.
got
I
it.
know.
I
Yeah,
got it.
sure, it's not.
I got it. I got it. Hey,
Look, to
Sure,
be
it's not.
fair,
I'm
it just seems
confused.
like it's more of a
I'm
bias
confused.
because he's saying things that a lot of females on here agree with, but that
Okay.
doesn't make it true.
And listen,
It's
Tawana,
It,
let me
it,
tell
it,
you
it
something about
doesn't make it
Louisiana
false.
niggas.
Well, that's why
Excuse
I
me.
have everybody on here, because I want to
Hey,
hear all of
Tawana,
y'all
let me
perspectives.
tell you
So,
something
so,
about
so let me tell you something.
Louisiana niggas.
So long as brothers
Hey,
think and
bro,
operate
don't
like
cut
this, man,
y'all.
we ain't going nowhere as a group, man.
You already
No,
We ain't
know.
going
you know
nowhere.
we ain't gonna go nowhere as a group
Anne-Marie,
speaking like how you speak.
I'm telling you the truth.
No,
Anne-Marie,
You're not
You just
basically,
think
telling
that
the
you don't
truth.
like it.
so Amir, the
That's
problem
telling you the truth.
that don't
is
make it true.
none of us really have an issue with what you talking
Telling
about. The
you the
fact
truth.
is, you came in here assuming like you were the alpha of the group,
I
like,
didn't.
and we're just
Who
having a
said anything about an
discussion.
alpha? Listen, I don't even
I
see. This is
didn't
what it
say
is.
that. I
Anytime you
said
start
you
telling
came
brothers the
in
truth
here
in
giving
Hey,
front
off
of a
the
Ralph,
woman,
impression.
they think it
that's
got
a
something to do
Because
with being an
billionaire.
alpha.
Ralph, that
Listen,
is a
I didn't say nothing
billionaire.
about
what
being no alpha male.
I'm not accusing you of doing it. I'm saying
That's
that's
what
the
you just
impression you
said.
get because when we have our opinions about our experiences, you calling them excuses because
I'm telling you,
it
this is
didn't.
like, all right,
But what
well,
I'm
but you
saying
know
is
what?
when we
Keep
have
doing
a
that.
shortcoming and because it didn't happen to you, you're assuming that we're making excuses. You
Oh,
don't know
so
what
what? Do you
transpired
do
in
you?
our lives to where we
And you don't
kind of
know what
got held back.
transpired in
It
mine.
does, but we're not holding you up. We're not holding that against you.
I'm
You're
not holding
talking
nothing
about.
against brothers.
You
Listen,
kind
you
of
Oh,
did
did.
holding
like.
against her. You
No,
said
I
I'm
didn't.
making
If you
excuses.
listen at what I'm saying. I was talking to J
Nobody.
Mac
Listen
when
to
he
what,
Hey,
when
I thought I
can
was
you
listen
guys
talking.
all
when
I
No,
just,
thought I
you
was
was not
talking.
talking to J Mac when you
JT,
said excuses.
I thought I was talking
Well, you need to
Hey,
think. You
mute
need
him.
to think
I
better
Why
than
thought
what
I
you
mute?
was
think,
Mute
talking
because
him.
it's
to
two
Jay. When I
different people
said
on
y'all
here.
making excuses, I thought
Mute.
I was talking to J Mac. But
J Mac and JT,
aside from any of that,
can we listen?
us being outnumbered, the problem with black society is not that we're outnumbered, it's that we're out organized. We refuse to organize. So it's not like we can't do what we need
Especially
to
how
do.
you talking. So how can we organize? If I'm sitting there answering a question from Tawana, you telling me I'm making an excuse.
I didn't know that was you talking. I thought that was J Mac.
You thought that was
You
J
and
Mac.
J Mac
Well, they are
sound
twins.
alike. I thought it was
Y'all
J
are
Mac
twins,
talking.
and y'all sound exactly alike.
Hey,
So it's
Tawana,
kind of,
So
Tawana, don't
so
make excuses for
I was cut off.
don't make
aside from that
excuses for
though,
him. Don't
aside
make
from that
excuses
though,
for him. He
no
got to
no
do
she ain't got
better.
it's not an
Just like
excuse.
he,
It's not
just like he preaching, we got to do better. He got to do better.
okay. I gotta do better. I'll
can I
eat that.
let,
I gotta do better and pay
can
attention
all
Hey,
of you guys,
Tawana.
with who's talking. But like I said,
Tawana. I mean,
The
if I
Haitians were outnumbered on the island of Haiti,
nobody
and
really
yet they was
cares.
I ain't
able to
worried
get
about no
something done.
Haitian.
wait a minute.
I'm worried about what
Can
JT
I
got
let
going
Reese
on
from
over
Philly?
here.
Let me let Reese from Philly respond. Reese, go ahead and tell me your perspective on this conversation and what happened.
I'm gonna tap in on a couple things. So everybody was raised in a different environment and had a different path to where they are today. So some of y'all gonna see things differently. So in some
Of
situations
course.
when y'all bickering back and forth, a lot of times both of you are correct. You see what I'm saying? One of you might see one thing one way and the other might see that as an excuse, but both of you are correct on what you're saying. You know what I mean? So there's no reason to bicker back and forth and get to the name calling, because all you're basically doing is just seeing the other person as being wrong, but they're not necessarily wrong. They just came up on a different path and saw different things in life
Yes,
than
they
you
are
did.
twins. I'm sorry. Yes, they are twins, Ralph.
Tawana, stop. Nah, don't tell everybody that. I don't know J Mac.
Another thing about the women, when a woman is a breadwinner in the house, most of the time back in the day when there was a situation like that, the man and the woman would work together, and so that if the woman was the breadwinner and had the better lane, the man would join her in that lane, and vice versa, and would be like a partnership, because a union I don't like to use the word marriage, but a union involves, you know, more just laying in the bed and raising kids. You have to take care of each other too. So if you can work together and you have like minds, you can jump in the same lane and build something together. So when the woman is the breadwinner, it's not a problem if it can be managed. If you can manage what you're doing so there's some type of balance in the house, then things should go pretty well. You know what I'm saying? And as far as this gender war goes, man, basically you have a group of men on social media and a group of women on social media complaining about the BS that they see their own people doing, and they're upset about it. In all actuality, the people speaking on it are not the people that are doing these things. Like most of y'all, I tell y'all talk about y'all got significant others in marriage,
Exactly.
y'all got families and stuff. Y'all talking about people that are not you. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no reason why any of you should be getting angry with each other. This is a nice group right here. A nice solid group.
They are a representation of what Black women would.
Can I piggyback off of what he just said?
Emotions take over.
Let me respond to Ron.
Man, shut
Your
up,
emotions took over first, though.
Hey y'all.
Hey, I can't. You couldn't survive around me, man.
I'm running out of power.
Sure, I could.
Oh man.
Dude.
Hey, y'all, come on, y'all.
I'm running out of
Hey
power.
y'all, give me 1 minute. I'm
I might
trying to
come back.
reach y'all. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk, Ralph, next. But Ron said, tell Black women to read to their sons. You see the accountability there, though. A Black man can't even take leadership in his own home. He's telling the woman what she needs to do. But the man can be absentee, cannot be present for his kid. Ralph just told you a story where his father lived next door to him and didn't acknowledge him. But you blame the Black woman when the man is supposed to lead. This is what I'm talking about.
Tawan, look at this picture, though. Look at this picture.
JT, this is what I'm talking about with Black men. This is it.
But
we're not talking about him.
You gotta
We're not
understand.
talking about him. He's not no stand-up for us. Look at his last name.
I'm just saying.
But you gotta also
Black
understand real quick though.
My point.
The reason why we get on Black women is not. It's because we blame the father for not being there. But didn't you have enough sense to know what kind of man he was before you decided to open your legs to him?
The men are the leaders. They are the leaders. They lead. And guess what? Don't blame a woman for falling for a man, because that's in our nature.
No, because even like Amiri even said, I believe he said it as well. Like not all men are qualified. Not all men are qualified.
But y'all
and a woman knows a man if he's qualified.
He did say that.
No, men.
Oh, he didn't.
Y'all want us to.
No, he said that. No, he did say that.
Yes.
He said.
So,
and then on top of that, he said, "Why should she listen to you if she make more money than you?"
Exactly. So if these women are opening their legs to these type of men, that's their judgment. You should have known better.
Y'all don't realize that illiteracy rates are up amongst all male groups. White males are suffering from illiteracy too.
Yeah, but with all due respect, Amiri, though, I'm not trying to disrespect you. With all due respect, I don't got no issues with other races, but I can't feel for them because we don't have enough time for us.
No, what I'm alluding to is it's not really the man, the mother or the father's fault. It's the educational system. You got to realize America might have the largest economy, might be the wealthiest nation on the planet, but America only ranks like in the 20th percentile when it comes to industrialized nations in the educational system. Why? Because America has chosen to build prisons rather than build schools. So we can't see, this is what I'm talking about, where we start pointing the finger at one another because niggas because dudes are listening to clowns in the manosphere. They don't read nothing for themselves. They don't understand sociology, and they don't understand white supremacy. They love to get on sisters, but you never see them get on that white man.
That's right.
Now that's where you're wrong, because you have never met this brother right here. I'm talking about me.
I'm not talking about you, bro.
But I'm not boasting of myself. But you got to also understand that it's like what I am like. Example, when me and Tawana are at odds, it's because what she may not understand is that what I'm going against her is not her, but the ideologies of what we call white supremacy that's coming at me through her. Just like with what I believe in God. You're not mad at that person. You're mad at whatever ideas they took on that's telling them it's correct when it's harming them. That's when I'm at. So I'm not at Tawana. I'm at that ideal that she's trying to bring in my direction. So even with you, you're telling me to compete, which I don't think it's a fear with competition. when going back to the brother who left, his point about like, bringing up like the what's it, the 80s or something like that.
Yeah.
When the woman was the breadwinner, she also understood everything her man was struggling with.
Right.
She understood, so she didn't hold it over his head like get your. She knew she was aware of what the situation was. Nowadays, oh, it's 2021. Racism doesn't exist anymore. Wake up. It does exist.
Yeah.
It's just changed. It's not, I'm gonna whip your back. It's, I'm gonna put my hand on your back and make you think I'm your friend. It's the difference. It's
Tawana, hey, let me go next.
Hey, 1 minute, you
clown.
guys, because Chicago Rilla came on, and I know Rilla has been tapping into the conversation, and I do want to get his perspective, and I want to hear what Rilla got to say. But let me welcome Mr. Rilla, Chicago.
I was trying to figure out what was in that cup, Shawana.
Oh yeah, my cup it's empty. What was in my cup?
Yeah,
maybe some rosé, but it's gone now.
Yo, look at you over here cooking, man. Look at you over here being spectacular.
I gotta shape the conversation.
Listen, and these are the discussions that we need to have. Peace to all the brothers on the panel. I've been dumbing out in the comments. I really here's the thing. Honestly, what I wanted to say to the brothers specifically, gentlemen, we're on YouTube. This is a worldwide platform. We got to remain in frame. We got to be able to have the conversation and be able to show the world that we could disagree agreeably, right? And so the ad hominems and the name calling, I get it, but let's also respect the sister too, because the one thing I 1000% give Tawana credit for is being able to, like, I think she see how hard it is now to be the moderator and host these conversations, but you have, your perspective that you want to pour into the conversation, but you're trying to juggle everybody else and get this person in, and then it goes off the rails, and then you're like, yo, I gotta bring it back in. Brothers, we gotta be able to show that, I don't have to agree with you. Peace to the brother, right. Theory. There's some things I agree with what you were saying in a sense, and then there's some things I don't agree with what you were saying, but we got to be able to have the conversation respectfully. So
okay, let me say this, because I'm about to get on out of here.
Go ahead, J-Mac.
Peace and respect to Tawana, my brother JT, Ralph, and you. That dude, whatever that, I'm not even saying his name. See, respect is given and earned, and I'm gonna call him I don't want to call him out his name because I don't want him to respond and cut me off. But I believe an idiot person only seeks their own counsel. They don't hear others. They make it. When somebody's trying to explain something, they write it off with excuses. And this brother from Avondale, Louisiana, we grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, so we had similar struggles. So maybe he was privileged. Maybe he had a two-parent home taking care of him, and maybe he got to a certain point of life where he can cast and have these opinions on the struggle he got out of if he had one. But he sounds very closed-minded in his approach to how he's not willing to hear others on what they feel is or what their perspective is and just cast them off excuses. So excuse me if I lose respect for a beta male ass dude who don't want to hear
J-Mac.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to go there. Yeah.
Just real quick, respectfully, brother. This is what I'm saying. I hear you. If we was on the street face to face, I got you. I hear you. I feel you on that. We're talking. See, the first thing I led with is we're on YouTube. This is a worldwide platform. It's other people looking than just however many people are in the comments, right? And so we have a duty to ethnic image and the bigger picture. So I get what you're saying. I don't have to agree with it. And listen, bro, if that's how you choose to carry it, then I respect that too. Lord knows I've been in situations in these YouTube streets where it's like, and I have to think about the bigger picture though. Mm-hmm. I always have to think about the bigger picture. So that's the only thing that I'm offering to the conversation. I do not want to take up too much time because the ultimate question around, is there a gender war? I think the gender war exists. I think it's real. I think it's just exaggerated on YouTube. I mean, when we out in the streets for real, ain't nobody going back and forth with women like that, man. And brothers, and this is the other thing I want to say. In 2022, this is the type of time I'm on, man. I'm done arguing, man. I'm done arguing. I'm not going back and forth. You ain't finna see me on no platform going back and forth arguing. You know, I still got vagina monologue, big hoochie energy for all y'all, right? But I'm not finna go back and forth like that.
Right.
I'm still King Simp, Tristan. Shout out to Tristan.
When you start talking about manhood, they call that simping in this day and age.
Hey,
You know
listen,
what?
You start talking about
I
manhood.
was gonna
that's cool
say
too.
that men.
Yeah, but when we talk about
who-
manhood, they say
No,
they say
J-Mac.
it's coming off excuses too.
And JT, wait a minute. Every man who gets on a panel and supports the position of Black women or actually back us up are called simps, because Black men do not want other Black men to like Black women. I'm
That's
sorry.
not true.
That
No,
is
I don't.
That's not
You know
true,
what,
Tawana.
that is
No,
Tawana?
what
I
they
don't.
what
not it.
what what
I
what
don't
what
have
what
a
many
problem with
that
many
is
brothers
what
on
happens.
I don't
what
have
many
a
brothers
problem with
online
that.
don't want. We don't want a code of conduct for how Black men supposed to behave. That's what it
Hey,
No,
really
you know
is.
it's
what
We
not
though?
don't want
that. It's that we.
want to
Oh, sorry,
have
sorry, sorry.
we don't want to have a benchmark of manhood
Man,
that Black men are supposed to
stop
strive and meet.
speaking for us, man.
It's just like lifting
Stop
weights.
speaking for us.
The only way
General.
the only way you're going to get stronger when you lift weights is if you push those weights to failure. So you can't be afraid to fail. And what we have is in today's time, many brothers are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
So the things that I'm saying, they see it as me saying is threatening, when really what I'm telling them is it's nothing stopping you. That's really what I'm saying.
Yes.
But somehow and for some reason, that message is
It
offensive to them.
translated to that they're making excuses when that's really
I call.
not
Can
what
I
you
Well,
explain
want.
why I
here's the
call
other
him a
part of
simp?
that, Tawana.
Can I explain
I
why?
don't care why it's irrelevant why you call me a
No,
simp.
bro, let me.
I don't
Hold
care
on.
why you
See,
call
that's
me a
the
simp.
problem. You trying
You
to
think I'm gonna lose
Wait,
sleep because you call me a
Hey,
simp?
hey, let
wait,
me
Jay,
explain.
Jay, just
Hold
real
on.
quick before you
Let me
go.
explain something right there.
1 minute.
Let me explain something right there.
Let's let Rilla, talk.
I promise y'all, I'm not going to be up here long, honestly. What I wanted to respond to with Brother Amiri, the other part of leadership that we understand, because I'm in leadership by way of like my job, what I do every day. Shout out to Teddy
Hello,
Riley.
Jedi Mike. How
Shout
are
out to
you?
TLA.
Hello, Jedi Mike.
What's up, family?
And welcome.
What I would also say
Thank you for
is
joining
that
the conversation. I can't wait to bring Ron on. Ron, I see you backstage, and I can't wait to go off on you. But I can't go off on you right now. I gotta wait until the other day. No, because I'm gonna really like let him have it. I'm sorry, and y'all gonna have to just forgive me, but I'm gonna let Mr. Ron have it.
So what we're really talking about, he's talking about.
I want y'all to speak though.
Wait, just let me say this and I'm gonna bounce, I promise. So you can bring other people up, because I didn't want to, I really just was pulling up for the brothers. I'm really proud of you though, Tawana, for real. I'm really proud of you.
Thank
Brother
you.
Mary, the other part of leadership that we understand is that when our message isn't landing, sometimes we got to adjust it, right? So that it lands properly, because the information that I'm giving you is way more important. Doesn't make me less than a man or less than a leader or anything if I adjust my messaging, right? And I'm not talking about tone police or none of that. Again, for me personally, it's some of the things that you said I agree with, some things I didn't. I could chew the meat and spit the bones, right? But then from the casual eye and observing, you guys also have to understand when we jump up on these panels, you're sharing of yourself. Brother Ralph, shout out to you, man. You was very transparent. I appreciated that. You got me to the crib tonight listening to you, man. So I appreciate that. I salute you, and my prayers are with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? For continued growth and healing, like real talk, continue growth and healing.
And you know what? Shout out to all my, everybody who's listening to this conversation right now. And thank you guys so much for supporting me. And
this is fire, Shawana. This is fire.
Oh, I can't wait to have this conversation again. I'm not even done. This is
together is fire. So I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna let y'all.
Hey, Wanda, let me finish my point so I get on out of here too.
Go ahead, J Mac, because I want
my reason for any disrespect on this show is if a narrative is being controlled by somebody and they dismissing your point of view, your perspective with their logic, which makes them not him. I call him an idiot because no one counsel or what he knows is over everybody else's. If you cannot speak your logic into existence because Mr. Know-it-all on here knows everything, that's when I start attacking. I'm like, hold on, dude. Let me voice my opinion. Let me have my opinion and my perspective. If you're going to dismiss it because it don't fit your narrative or what you want to hear and dismiss it by It's no different from me calling him a simp to him saying you making excuses. See, the difference is I'm attacking him by calling him a name, but the difference is with him, he's doing it by word playing on how he dismissing the words.
Yeah,
So
but here's the thing.
No,
This
you
is
you did it. You did an ad hominem, J Mac. I
yeah,
never called you out of your name.
yeah, he
man, dude,
J Mac, but
oh my God,
let me
boy,
say what happens in these spaces
I did.
a lot of times what happens is
I hear you.
you give your opinion and you say how you feel about a particular subject matter, and people internalize it and take it personally. When it doesn't apply to you, you don't need to attack the person specifically, attack the problem and the situation that's being talked about. But you in turn, and that's kind of what happened with me and Ralph, right? I was talking about a situation and we could have just really stayed on the subject matter and talked about it and debated that. But instead, you decide to attack the person when really you don't know the person. So you don't know enough about that person to call them any name, right? But you can
Right.
talk about the situation and what you disagree with and
Okay,
what
Tawana,
bothered you,
I
right?
just said the
Without
reason why
attacking him.
I just said why I called him out his name. The reason why I called him out his name, whether it's respected or not,
Because we not
is
face to face. You know you would never do that if we was face to face,
oh,
bro.
Okay,
bro,
Don't
yo,
even
oh,
all
start
right,
it.
so here we
Don't
go.
even take it
my,
there.
I'm just saying.
my,
Don't take it
my
there.
dude,
You're
hey,
able to
listen,
do. You're able to do that
hey,
because we're on social
hey,
media. But you know good and well,
Right.
if we was face to face, you wouldn't be doing
I
that.
know
Like
Okay,
that's
damn well,
that's not
hey,
even.
I
That's
know,
not even. That's not
hey,
even
bro,
me
you
talking
talking
aggressive. I'm
shit
okay,
just
from
let
a
me
saying
let
Hey,
me
man,
hey,
if
you
we
know
was
okay,
face
what
to
let
though?
face,
me
you wouldn't
Hey,
do
you
J
that.
Mac, don't
talking
even
shit from
fall
a
for it.
man.
Don't
hold
listen to it.
on, y'all. I'm gonna have
Let
to
it
mute
go.
y'all both. Let me let Jedi Mike go ahead and jump in here and let y'all cool off, okay? Go ahead, Jedi Mike. You go ahead and say your piece.
Yeah, God, I just
You
yeah, I
came
didn't want
in,
to.
Jedi. How you doing? Yeah, welcome to the craziness. We've been talking about gender wars, and we've been going back and forth about just black men and black women, and this whole
Right.
dynamic. I've
Mhm.
been presenting some interesting facts,
I
throughout this
saw.
conversation. So yeah, go ahead and jump in and tell me your perspective and what you think on this topic.
Well, this is what I would say here is that in this conversation that you see consistently, we talked about, what is an issue talking about black men and black women, right? Like I mentioned before, you have men complaining that all women are the issue, and you have women complaining all men are the issue. The issue is not really in terms of the individual. The issue is our culture, what we normalize and what we are allowing to do, and disrespect towards each other as a people. Who
Yeah,
taught this man that it's okay for him to disrespect a woman, right? Who taught this woman that it's okay for you to not respect any type of male authority or not even seeing any value in the black man at all, right? So I think the issues are culture. And the point of it is that I think from both sides in this, you have many people that want to come in these conversations and say, oh, well we want to try to construct the narrative, when really we're just wasting time in this gender infinity war, right? What is the one thing that we always keep complaining about? Well, I never had my fathers, therefore I don't really have a positive outlook on black men. Oh, well, my mother, she always tried to effeminate me and all stuff, so that's why I have a negative viewpoint on black women. It's the
right.
same thing. You can be a byproduct of your environment, which that has heavily have strong influence on our actions, our behaviors, mannerisms, etc. But I do believe you could be a byproduct of your choices. And unfortunately, we're making poor choices as a culture when we're getting these conversations and getting this disagreement and identifying what is the clear issue, right? So I think when we get into this, arguing semantics as a point, saying whose fault it is, the point is we just got work to do. We're wasting our time. And more
Right.
importantly, the people that's affecting is not really the black man or black woman, it's our children. They're seeing this behavior. Where do you think boys are getting this type of feminine behavior when they're acting out of self-control, acting all emotional? Especially in modern society, want to take the process of forging boys to be men. Women, right? You're not being covered by real male leadership, and hence, the fact that they don't even know what to submit to because they've never even seen male leadership in the first place in their community. So I just think that when you guys start targeting the issue and start being more proactive than reactive, then you might have been realizing that we're more wasting time arguing on these semantics and start getting to the root of the problem.
That's right. Let Ron come on this show. Hi, Ron. Ron, are you the same one who said 19-year-olds are the best women to marry, right? You're the same man, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember you came on the show. Go ahead. What is your perspective?
Damn.
Yeah, this is him, the man who thinks that a 19-year-old girl
And
is
the reason why he thinks that is because she's not intelligent enough to know when he's
she's
full of
not.
crap.
He
He wants to
wants to
take
control.
advantage.
He has a level of control that he wants to
You're
exert.
already
they love
attacking the brother
docile
before
women
he
the
can give
same
his
way
own
white
opinion.
society love docile men,
He's been
docile
saying his
black men.
opinion in the comments, so I
Why?
know what
Let the
he thinks.
man. Let the
But
man
go
speak
ahead,
his
Ron.
case.
I'd
Let the
love
man
to hear
speak
what
his
you got to
case.
say.
To answer your question, it's simple. The problem is black women. That's it.
Right. So go ahead, keep on going. Black women, what's the problem? Because I guess we're the leaders and you guys are not. So go ahead. What's your problem with black women?
They can't raise families well.
Okay, because we raise
can't
families by ourselves, right, Ron?
No, Tawan, I think you should do him like Kevin Samuels. Let's put him on trial first. First of all, give us your height, give us your income and educational level.
How much you make? What's your salary?
Tell us how much you make. And let's go from there.
I want to hear what he got to say. Go ahead. We raise families by ourselves because black men like you abandon us and don't take care of your kids. But go ahead. You go ahead. Keep talking.
Even if that wasn't the case, like you still raise the kids.
Because you make no excuses because black men can be absent from the household, but it's the woman's fault for how she raises the kid. That's what you say.
He can walk away. He could walk away or he could be struck by lightning. It doesn't change the fact that you are responsible for those kids, and the kids can't read. They can't do math. I mean, they're not smart. And that's on black women.
Then why do we see that trend again? Why do we see that trend with all male groups globally? It's a global trend.
Ron, can I ask you a question? Is that your issue more so against black women generally or just Western black women?
Well, the ones in the United States, of course.
Yeah, okay, so I already
Western.
understand
Ron,
where you're coming from.
How many kids do you have?
None.
Okay, so how many of us on the panel have kids? Can your kids read? Because my damn kids can read. So who are you talking about, and what illiterate kids are you?
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just saying some stuff. He doesn't understand the statistics.
First of all, you're 33 with no options. You haven't had a woman in I don't know how long. You're probably a man that's not desirable to any woman. You probably have no wealth. You're probably low wage, and you are the least respected man. So why should we listen to anything that you have to say?
Because with all of that shit,
and you also like 19-year-old girls who haven't fully developed because you want to mentally control women. So why should I care about what you have to say?
Because all of what you just said applies to black women. And when it comes to the 19,
so what about black men?
When it comes to the 19-year-old, you should know it's actually verifiable that black women are the largest sexual predators in the black community. You can prove that.
Oh, is that right? When other races only value you all because of your sexual appetite and what they can see that you can give to them. They always talk about your penis.
White dudes do the same thing.
Talk about your penis because that's what they care about. That's what they want from you.
Other races of men do that with black women too, though.
No, black women let other races of men do
I'm talking to Ron right now because Ron has came on my show before and said some stuff. And so this is previous. That's why I already have context of who he is, y'all. I'm not talking about what he just said right now. I'm talking about he came on my show prior to this and he said the same stuff. So I want to talk to him. I really need to hear.
Notice they not pushing. Notice the brothers on the panel not pushing back with him like they're pushing back with me. Notice that.
You know why I'm not pushing back? Because even though I don't know this dude, but I understand where what his perspective is. It's rough, but I understand exactly what he's saying.
His perspective is errant.
You got it. Now you're doing what you said I was doing.
It's how you pushing back though, bro. Like
it's kind of effeminate.
I responded back to Wanda.
You said I was making excuses. So it's
no. He's basically making it. He's taking a stand. He's not. See, the thing is,
This is
no. Listen. Where I'm trying to say, he's taking a stand against.
You feel like we respect what he's saying? If you going after him already,
he's just not going to brown nose.
That's not brown
he basically.
Hold
on. Let me just make this point, and I'm gonna let you talk. I promise you. Amiri, let me just say this real quick. I'm gonna let you go. What I'm trying to say is that the brother is just basically saying like this: until black women start to really look at themselves and realize the changes that they need to make for themselves, like we have to do, then he's not going to settle for that.
Black
So
men
he's
have
going to
not
go
changed.
elsewhere.
Black
And
men
that's
have
not,
not
that's
changed.
nothing, it's nothing wrong with that, because
So
it
let me ask
happens
you a
to us
question.
every day.
Ron,
When
Right. So let me
women don't
so
want
let
to
me
settle for
so
us,
let me
they
ask you a
go
question.
elsewhere.
If
bro,
and this
if
is
he
what I
didn't
find
say
so
that he wanted
funny.
19-year Amory, one minute. If he didn't say that
Okay.
he wanted 19-year-old girls who that would after 19 you really go downhill from that and a woman is no longer attractive. That is what he said. So when do you think
Oh, I
he's
know what
going to
you're saying.
begin to court? These are men who, this is a man, Ron, who's going to court somebody like your daughter when she's 16 or 17-year-old and then marry her at 19. This is what he's saying.
Apparently he's not though, Tawana,
No.
because I mean,
Yeah,
Let me just let y'all know.
that's not what that means.
hold
What
on.
that means is
That
that
is-
She
he's
said
not.
not what
I
that
was going to
means,
be able
though.
to. She
That's
said
not
I
what
was
that
going to be
means.
able to. She said I was going to be able
Because
to respond. So
culturally,
Hey,
that's not what that
Tawana,
means.
apparently
Because
he's
there's girls out
he
here that's
fits the
having sex
statistic
at
that you
12 years
fit.
old, and they're having sex.
He's
What he's saying
33.
is that
He's 33.
okay, like look in California, you see a lot of Hispanic couples, right? Because it's California. They marry young. So what's the difference between this man being with as long as she's obviously legal though, not no
A
child,
33-year-old man preferring a 19-year-old woman and telling a woman that is 20, 25 and up that she is undesirable because she has reached a point where she is fatter than he wants, that she doesn't look as good as she can, and she's more fertile, when that is not true at 19 than she is at 26. No,
Tawana,
that is not true.
let me.
we
I want to
we saw
respond.
his picture, so he fit your statistics.
All I'm
So I
gonna
don't
say
have to worry about him
is
dating.
that I'm not about to let a man who clearly has a disdain for black women be on my show. If you all want to talk to him, cool, I'll let y'all talk to him, but I am going to kick him off if y'all ain't got nothing
Kick
else
him
to
off.
say.
You put him on. You should have never brought him on though.
I just wanted people to hear this foolishness. I wanted
No,
black
I
women
saw
to
his
hear.
picture in the chat.
Okay,
You talking about a person that fit your statistics.
JT, I want black women to see that there are black men who do not desire them, and that is
but
nothing
that's
you can
one
do about
man.
it.
That's just one.
But he,
I want to deal.
he's a representation.
I want to deal with the
But that's what a lot of black women keep doing. You let one man determine how we all feel. That's
And
not
then
true.
it's like it's a
So why
check on the
y'all
whole
didn't push
race.
back then?
No, first off,
that's
no,
how I feel
hold
like
on,
it come out though.
It ain't. The thing is, it's not that it's not a pushback. It's just I've been to a certain level of understanding of what he's talking about. I understand what that's coming from.
Don't.
Okay,
I'm not talking about the 19-year-old. I'm talking about the mindset of like, what you're not selling for. Like I've been down that road, so I get okay, bet. So I can't really get mad at that. So it's not gonna be a pushback because I do agree with a lot of the perspective of certain things, but not the obviously hating.
No, what I'm talking about pushing back on is.
Go ahead, Anne Marie. I want you.
It just comes off as when brothers start speaking up for sisters. It's like either if we don't brown nose, then we don't care. That I don't have to brown nose to prove I care for black women. It's how it seems like we have to be.
That's how it came off though. That's how it came off.
So I'm not calling you.
No,
so Amiri, you gotta.
That's how it came
Amiri,
off.
you gotta hear what I'm saying though.
This is what I keep trying to get these brothers to focus on.
Ryan saying because Ryan don't even belong on the
but
show.
check this out though, Amiri. I'm not trying to accuse you of brown nose. What I'm saying is that's where it seems like we have to do in order to prove we love black women. Brown nose, like. Can I tell you I love you?
Tell me how
be
else.
enough.
Tell me how else.
I'm talking about white supremacy.
Hold on, I want to hear this. Tell me how else y'all prove that y'all love
Get
black
Ryan
women.
ass out of here. He don't belong on here. Get him up off here. Ryan came on here talking about stupidity. Get him up out of here.
I want A Marie. I'm sorry. How you pronounce it again?
Amiri.
I'm sorry, Amiri. I want you to respond to Ron because I know you had something to say before I.
Of course, the beta male does.
Because what Ron is doing, he's looking at one statistic, and this is what they do. Now you'll hear him talking about SYSBM. You'll hear these types of men talking about MGTOW, men going their own way. So go to fuck your own way then. If black women have no value and black women they don't raise families and stuff, why the fuck you over here on this black woman panel? Why you always on YouTube running your goddamn mouth talking about black women? Take your ass over there to them white women and them dirty foot bitches over there in them third world countries y'all like to go deal with. Now, when we're talking about the illiteracy rates of brothers, because black men do have disproportionately high illiteracy rates. Even grown black men. It's not just something that's happening with black boys. But what I'm talking about is, I just laid it out. America has not invested any money into developing their citizens in terms of a workforce because of globalization. So we trying to blame it on the sisters when really it's the macro society. White boys are also suffering with higher illiteracy rates, not as high as black men, but high illiteracy rates.
That's right.
White women are also more educated than white men.
But
See, we always want to think everything is just everything is just black, but it's not. It's the largest society.
You see that black men, even though black women have the most education, right? Like, we have been cited in current sources as being the most educated. This man on this panel came on here to say that we don't know how to properly raise our black children.
I'm offended by that. Hey, Tawana, I'm offended by that. Let me cook. I'm offended by that. I'm offended by the beta male on here who speaks more than anybody. And then Ryan get on here with his opinion. Like, I read that stupid shit in the chat. This dude is a clown. He don't have a voice. He should not be heard. I don't even feel like insulting him. I don't feel like insulting him because the beta male still refused to drop his location. And he said I wouldn't say it to his face. So me and him have to have a face-to-face.
Okay, well, maybe you would say it to my face, but you won't like the consequences of it. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's best you just leave it on YouTube, bro.
That sounds.
It's best you just leave it on YouTube, bro. So whatever you think you're gonna do to me, what you think I'm gonna be doing while you doing that? You think I'm just gonna let you do it?
Hey,
is that what you think?
Tough. Hey, guess what?
You the one trying to be tough.
Listen.
In my world, I'm gonna do what I want to do with a beta male like you. How about that?
Well, you can try it.
All right, J Mac, I'm gonna mute y'all because listen, that's not the point of this show to fight. We all have a different perspective and different. I don't want y'all meeting up, linking up.
This my thing though, Tawana. I'm gonna say this though. If you let it get like that, why they still on the show? And that's for my brother and this dude. I'm just curious.
Well, here's the
thing. Look, I never disrespected.
You tell your brother, chill out.
I never disrespected nobody. I got disrespected. I never cursed nobody. I lift my voice up, but I never disrespected nobody. Even this weird dude named Ryan something, he was on your show before. You chose to bring him on. I would not have brought him on. You asking about the numbers. He fit the statistics because I saw a picture of him with an Asian woman on there. So why does he even matter?
Can I talk to you about that? Because I need Black women to see the example of the type of men that I'm talking about. Because I know that you guys don't fit that, but there are many men like him that are in this world that represent, that talk this way, that don't like Black women, and Black women continue to praise Black men, continue to stay loyal to Black men. And these are the type of men who are disloyal, devalues, ungrateful, promotes being with women. You know, they used to say, oh, I want a woman between 25 and 30. Now he's even going lower because guess what? Women in that age group are starting to catch on to men like this. And
maybe, you know what, Tawana?
Oh, I'm going to just use these men for the money. And so I'm sure whatever woman he's with, he's going to have to pay for her. Trust me. He is.
Okay.
Because that's how he thinks. That's what he thinks.
Maybe
I'm just letting men. I just want women to see.
Maybe he was one of them brothers that kept being denied by Black women.
He definitely.
So I mean, that's why he decided to go out and date.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's why he decided to go out and date his race. But let me tell you something. That shouldn't upset you because he fit the statistics.
I'm not upset with him.
No, I'm just saying when you asking these questions.
I'm not upset with any of you guys. And
Ron is prevalent on that. The types of men like Ron are prevalent on YouTube and social media, and that's why I have the disposition I have when I run across dudes like that. I got nothing but smoke for them.
Me too.
Because what it really is they want to excuse white supremacy and they want to blame everything on Black women, and then they'll turn around and call Black men Pookie and Ray Ray.
That's right.
Exactly.
And here's the thing.
You know, Marie, that's the first time I agree with you tonight. Actually, I fully agree with you. Man, I am so splendid to meet and have I want to share some fruitful information with you. Like, we gotta link up, we gotta get each other contact information, We got to meet up, man. We got to have a good
Well, here's the
conversation.
thing, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
gonna have
hey,
I'm gonna have
hey, give
I'm
me
gonna
your
have
number.
another show, and I
Hey,
want
give
to
me your
invite.
information on the back so we can keep talking, Marie.
Here's
I'm
the
gonna call
thing.
you.
I'm gonna have another
Okay.
show, and I want y'all to come back because we need to have some powerful conversations. But I am going to push you guys. I'm gonna bring up statistics about Black men. I'm gonna talk about these things, and I want y'all to do whatever y'all need to do. Come prepared. We're gonna talk about it. I want y'all to come back to my show though, because this was a powerful conversation, and it's getting late. But and I want y'all to go to sleep because I gotta go to work tomorrow. Y'all do too. Anne Marie, you gotta come back to my show. I need to drop my information so you can reach out to
Okay.
me and come back. I'm gonna
And y'all
are you
welcome to come
on
in. Y'all
IG? Are you on
um
IG?
yeah, I am. It's I think it's Amiri_Browner, and I actually have my own channel, the Amiri Brown Show.
Okay,
I'm known in these YouTube streets.
okay, so
I done got
so
into it with a lot of people on here
I
because
see.
I don't pull no punches. I tell the
Okay,
Now,
truth.
what you about to say? And what you about to say? We welcome to come back.
yes, you well,
No,
JT,
no, no,
you
not you,
already
Tawana, because it's not your show no more. It's a Mary show. What you was
no, it's
about to
not.
say?
No. It don't JT. It ain't
No,
no
no, no.
Amiri
Stop,
show.
stop.
No,
No,
He was
no,
about to
no,
say you
y'all
were
JT.
welcome to come
No,
back.
JT. It's my show.
Brothers are more
Wait,
than welcome.
wait. Let me just say this. This is my damn show. Don't ever say it's nobody else's show on my show, JT. Come on now. Let's go now. Y'all are
I,
going too far.
all I said was, I mean no disrespect. All I said was the same brothers are welcome to come to my show and we can chop it up and we
Right.
can talk and
Okay.
we can find common ground. Like I said, I'm not as hard on brothers as they think I am, but I just understand you can't coddle
Hey,
grown men. That's it.
Tawana,
That's you
Tawana.
know.
Hey,
Can you
Tawana, I
can you
appreciate
find
you. I appreciate you for having me.
thank you.
I'm actually looking forward to going to Mr. Marie show. He
Good.
gonna pass his information on to me. We gonna have a meetup. We gonna have drinks. We gonna have a face to face. We gonna talk because I want to have these conversations face to face
Good.
on here. So like we
Well,
gotta
I
get
mean,
that
I think you
information
should
exchange.
talk and I think y'all can
Okay, we
really
gotta get that information
understand.
exchange. We didn't say some stuff that
Mm,
got. I mean, it's not YouTube with me, man. Like I can do the
okay.
face to face. We can have a man to man talk and figure it out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's exchange that
Anne
information.
Marie,
Let's
can
not make
you
the words and keep talking. Let's just get that information exchange.
I have my Instagram in the chat, Anne
Okay.
Marie, because I wasn't able to get yours, but I would love for you to go ahead and connect with me so I can be reach back out to you. Ralph, you definitely got to come back, and Jedi Mike. I would love to hear y'all perspective because I want to have a larger conversation just about YouTube culture, and
God,
we
let me
can
tell you.
really we're gonna really dive into the red pill, blue pill conversations and all of the conversations, the divesting conversations that happen on the women's side. I'm not going to just talk about men. I'm going to also bring up the women who are divesting and choosing not to engage with Black men and what that conversation looks like as well. So I really want y'all to come back for sure. And I hope, J Mac, that you and, y'all can come to some kind of agreement. Thank you guys for coming. I hope y'all liked my video. I hope if you
What
are
day
on
though?
here, you subscribe to my channel and you come back. Ron, even though I can't stand you, thank you for coming back. Jada Mike, J Mac, A Marie, JT went off, but JT, I love you. Thank you so much for joining, and Ralph as well. And we will see you next time. All right, y'all.